Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies speak.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded sheep for the open-minded people, not the little but the weak. Welcome to the rabbit hole. You sure you wanna be?
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a
new world order.
Treasure Island.
They never come back. And boy,
Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Ramblings. It's a jam-packed panel tonight. We've got a couple of newbies, a couple of debutantes on the channel. You know what you got to do. There's already 50 people in the house. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. We're going to break new records tonight, hopefully. Please smash the like button I don't know, as if you're questioning everything. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe if you're not sure about how the world really works, but you want to find out. Hit the notification bell. That should be squeezed because we could get suppressed at any time. The shadow banning is real, people. And drop your comments thick and fast. Be respectful to the open-mindedness that this channel requires. I'm going to come along and say, I'm going to go around the order and find out how everyone's doing. And before I do come to, actually, I'm not going to do it that way, Nick. I'm going to be entirely the correct way of doing it. I'm going to welcome in
the ladies.
The new people first. Susie, welcome to the Rabbit Hole. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Just having a catch up backstage. You're replacing Eugene on the show tonight with you're the more realist or the kind of traditional viewpoints. You're more curious about what we're going through rather than coming in with the outrageous takes. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good to see you. And Lorraine, welcome to the channel. Friend of John. Looking forward to hearing some of your takes and your tidbits. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
And you were just saying backstage, you're someone that's been down the rabbit hole for about a decade or so. So you're like the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm just still in amazement, but yeah, I'm still learning. Fantastic.
Well, tonight's show might be, and listen, we're not going to stick to one or two topics. We'll go where we go like we always do, but there are, I went and found a couple of sort of pieces of Instagram footage to get us off and running with regards to the Reptilian agenda, which for me is the most fun of all of the agendas, but it's all about aliens anyway. Nikos, the man who doesn't believe in aliens, how are you, my man? You okay?
It's not that I don't believe that yet. I just think they're misprofiled as maybe something else. We'll get into that later. But no, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I'm enjoying the shows, and it's nice to see more people turning up. We've got good numbers coming in now. We've got record numbers coming in every show. Yeah, so look forward to the next one all the times. Highlight of the week.
And last but by no means least, my man John. He was going to move home. The conspiracy is he's still in the same place. What's going on there, John? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Sean. Yeah, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. Tired. Always tired at 9 o'clock. Feel like we need to shift the start time for me to be at my most energetic, but I don't know if like a midday conspiracy stream is going to have the same kind of the same razzmatazz about it. So it seems like an evening thing to do. So it is what it is.
We should do a midnight one at the weekend.
For sure.
Darken the room and put some candles all over the place.
Mate, remember, I'm in Spain, so I'm an hour in front of you. So.
Oh, yeah. You guys get a siesta though for about 4 hours every day, so you'll be all right. You have lunch at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and dinner at 11 o'clock at night.
No, it's funny actually. I have the siesta in the daytime, but I always keep the traditional dinner time of like 6:30, 7 o'clock from back in the day.
See the British end up, as they say.
Yeah, I get the best of both worlds.
It's good to see everybody in here. I can see some new names as well. See some familiar names. Can see some new names I haven't seen before. Good to see you all. Right, listen. Before we get off and running on the videos, does anyone have any particular? Should we start with the reptilian thing, or should we get there gently? By the way, so I can hear someone's like echo or tapping or scratching. Can you hear that? Or is it just me when I'm talking?
It's you when you're talking.
I think it's your echo.
Okay.
It's not mine. Everything's silent here. Even the dog's silent.
I can hear it, but I don't know where it's coming from.
Should be okay. We'll find out. Is someone's mic is echoing? Is it Perchy? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try and figure it out throughout the show. Feedback. Apparently. Okay. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. So yes, should we start with the reptilian agenda, or should we start with the Epstein files? Something a little bit like still just as crazy. What's going on? Let's start with the Epstein files. Does anyone have a take right now? 20,000 emails have come out. Apparently, people are assuming that when one of them is saying that Donald Trump noshed off Bubba, people are making the assumption that Bubba is Bill Clinton. But there's another bombshell that Ghislaine Maxwell had a horse named Bubba. And, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on there. All of a sudden, both sides are now rushing to get out certain versions of the Epstein files. Is it like, I don't know why my camera's going weird. Need to fix that quickly. I'm turning into a reptile.
Sean.
Let me turn the mic. I'll still be able to talk to you, but let me just fix the camera. Nikos, talk to me about the Epstein files, mate. What's going on?
Actually, there was a few developments that are happening sort of regularly with these, but I know that this last week they actually got a quote from the sender of that email, the Bubba email, and it was Mark Epstein, like Jeffrey Epstein's brother, and he was quoted as saying he wasn't referencing Bill Clinton. So let's just start right off the bat that the Bubba reference is something else, but it's not what a lot of people sort of thought it might be straight off the bat. But these files, like they should have been released in total, like a long time ago. The fact they're drip feeding them for whatever reason, whether it be political or it's very suspicious. I don't think they're particularly trying to hide anything. But yeah, we need to know what's going on. We need to know top to bottom what's in those files. I think tonight, actually, in Congress in America, they're actually voting on the releasing of the full files. So we might get a lot more information. Yeah,
there's gonna be some more. For me, I reckon part of the reason why the entire royal family and also the Falkland Islands are distancing themselves as much as they can. They're whitewashing anything to do with Prince Andrew. I think it's because they know that there's more information about Andrew that's going to drop at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Lorraine, what about yourself? What are you thinking?
Well, to be honest, I mean, we're never going to know what's are actually in the files. They're going to keep them, all parts of it, secret. If they don't want us to find out, we won't find out. Prince Andrew, as far as I'm concerned, he's something's going to come out, but it's all a distraction for something else that's going on. So you've got to look to the left or the right and find out what else is going on at the same time. And we've known about Prince Andrew and Epstein for years, and nothing's happened. Nothing will happen. Well, that's my opinion anyway. And Prince Andrew with the Epstein, and then you've got Jimmy Savile and Prince Charles. You've got Rolf Harris and the Queen. It's all over. So yeah, that's what I think.
How did Rolf Harris come into it? He was in prison, wasn't he, for being a
Yeah, that's right. But he was the Queen's portrait artist, wasn't he? So and Jimmy Savile used to have Christmas dinners with King Charles all the time, and he had their best mate. They were best mates on the phone to each other all the time. And you can't tell me if you're hanging around with a load of paedophiles that you don't get a sort of a strange feeling about these people. And it's all of them, isn't it? So
yeah, for sure. I think you probably don't get within about 500 feet of the royal family without being vetted within an inch of your life.
Exactly. So exactly, all the cardinals and all the other archbishops and whatever, they're all at it. As far as I'm concerned, don't trust any of them.
That's part of the problem when you go down the rabbit hole, isn't it? Part of the first thing that you lose, other than maybe your mind and your grip on reality a little bit, is also the ability to trust anybody, anything. You don't trust anything anymore, do you?
No, not really. No, but it's just me.
Are you on board this Epstein story?
Yeah, my view is, well, I think there's this whole thing come out that it's actually smoke screen, this whole Epstein thing. So the ring is still very much active and going, and the people that have been mentioned and kind of been brought down already are the people who don't have a lot to lose, or they've already faced sort of consequences. So like Trump, they're, untouchables and all of that type of stuff. So I think if they're protecting, and which is why it takes such a long time for any information to come out, because there's still so much and so many people that would have a bigger impact on if those names were to come out. I mean, I don't personally think with the royal family, yes, people are vetted, but I mean, I only think that goes to a certain, like, it depends what your influence is on the royal family. I don't think you always know who's a pedophile. Like, I don't think that's fair to say. That happens in society all the time. People you least expect are the people who turn around to be that. So I don't think you can say, if you're friends with someone, that you always know, because it could be anybody, I think, amongst us, really. So
I
I don't
agree.
think Charles necessarily knew about.
The
Like,
thing
any
is, it's not just
stuff.
one. It's not one person, is it? They seem to be
Oh,
surrounded.
yeah, it's a group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who was the Prime Minister, John? Was it Ted Heath? That the rumors
Yeah.
was it Ted Heath that he
Yeah.
used to go out on a boat from was it Guernsey, the island just south of Britain, like the tax haven where there was like an orphanage, and they ended up finding like tunnels that were filled in after it all became out that all those orphanages were basically all the boys in there were used as essentially like sex slaves for the people that were in charge and the high profiles. And I think I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that the accusation, at least, allegedly, I've got to say allegedly here, definitely going to get shadow banned when I say this next sentence, but that they would go out on a boat with Jimmy Savile and I think it was the Prime Minister Ted Heath, allegedly, that they would go out and have their way, and then sometimes the boys would come back, other times they wouldn't, sort of thing. Do you remember that, John? Do you remember that story?
Yeah, that's going back a bit now, isn't it? Bloody hell.
Yeah, 70s and 80s. It was. I'm sure it was Ted Heath that was the accusation against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we
Then you've
venturing
got Button as well.
and are we going more onto the English British sort of aristocracy? Are we looking at that?
Go wherever you want, mate. Go with this. Just go wherever we want, bro. There's no schedule. There's no structure. We just go on a random walk to see where we land.
I mean, there was rumours of Lord Mountbatten, wasn't there, in the and which was why the IRA bombed him, because of rumours of him with boys.
Really?
And do you guys, I don't know if you ever, like, if you actually follow Justin Bieber as well, in the whole sort of downfall and the things he's trying to communicate, or what people believe he's trying to communicate through his social media. And recently he posted those massive containers, that you get on cargo ships and whatnot. But the location was from Diddy's mansion, and Diddy's mansion is like across the canal from a massive cargo ship port, and where they believe that they were bringing sort of children in on those cargo ships.
Probably, yeah.
That cargo container area, whatever it's called, opposite Diddy's mansion, which is like a huge mansion, there's actually writing that it's like "help us" all written across like the cargo bays where these containers lie. There's definitely something to do with the movement of a lot of these slaves and children.
Yeah, because he even had it in his picture, the cargo containers, and then underneath it was like a bed, and then there was like a baby in the bed. Like, it was quite creepy, actually.
These containers are moved by predominantly a company called Evergreen, and they've actually what they actually have done is they've fitted them out with oxygen tanks and bedding, like you say, and they've made it so that people can stay in these containers for weeks and weeks and weeks without needing any supplies or any oxygen or light, or so they've made it quite a big business.
Yeah,
these container companies. But yeah, Evergreen is predominantly the company that's, from what I understand, moving a lot of these.
Even that Ghislaine Maxwell, she of all of the skill sets that she had, I'm pretty sure she was she had a helicopter pilot's license and a submarine license.
Yeah, there's a submarine license.
Who has a submarine license unless you've been in the Navy? What are we doing here? You know, seems a little bit suspect, to be honest. You know, I don't know. Listen,
that's supposedly where the old Beatles song, isn't it? We all live on a yellow submarine. Comes
we're
from.
bringing back the Beatles again, are we? Bringing back the Beatles.
On the submarines.
The yellow submarine reference comes from the coffins where they buried Paul McCartney. When Paul McCartney was buried in Blackpool, there is a reference to all the coffins that were underneath the ground. If you actually listen to read the lyrics of the song, it'll make sense. But it's a reference to the coffins.
Sean hates the McCartney theory, don't you?
I felt like it was the Paul McCartney one is just a little. In fact, someone actually asked right at the top of the stream. Here we go. Maisie's Adventure. Big up to you, Maisie. He says, Sean, I've been thinking about this Paul McCartney thing. Listen, at least you're making people think, boys, with your Paul McCartney story. He said, can you ask what happened to the original John's parents, siblings, aunties, uncles, cousins, etc.? Any idea?
I don't understand the question. What's the question?
If the guy who died, surely the family would have known.
Oh yeah, his parents knew. Yeah, there's actually a Beatles song called is it Reverend Mackenzie? Is it Reverend Mackenzie or something like this? So it was actually going to be called Reverend McCartney, but they changed it obviously to not let on. But yeah, the parents were at his funeral, so it's like they knew. They get cut in on the royalty program or whatever. They were looked after, but they was at his funeral.
Just quickly before we go any further, I really appreciated Sava. Sava has raided a football channel over to a conspiracy.
Wow, fair play. We've got 500 people who jumped in here from top community.
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people that are popping in going, oh, that's that Sean guy talks about Spurs. What? What's he talking about? Epstein Island.
Yeah, grab a beer, sit down.
This might not be for everybody, by the way. Everyone who's just rocked up. This might not be for you. We're talking about reptilians and the Epstein files. So
someone was looking like, oh, who's live? Oh, Sean's live. Let me send him some people over.
Oh, this is it. My football content career is down the drain.
Your football career is over.
All over the place. All right, listen. Let's pivot a little bit. I want to get some of these videos out to see this. I want to show you some of these just to get us a little bit going. All right, so I don't know where to start with this one. I'm going to start gently. This isn't about reptilians. This is about something else. So tell me what you think about this.
Personal victims of domestic violence, a Webster family who lost a loved one has been pushing for the change. Anchoring investigation.
I know I'm not fucking tripping. Did you guys just see that fly fucking appear in her eye? It literally appeared out of nowhere. What the hell? And then when the fly falls from her eye, you can hear her go, and then she just continues talking like nothing happened, like she didn't just swallow a fly on live television that appeared out of her eyeball. I don't know what it is. Is it a reptilian? I don't know. All I can tell you right now is I'm grossed out because.
And I'm not interested in her perspective. I want to see the fly again. Check the fly. I'll show you the first couple of seconds. She was just milking that for her own bit. But let's get back to the fly bit. Watch her eye. The fly does appear out of nowhere, and then she looks like she swallows it.
Personal victims of domestic violence, a Webster family who lost a loved one has been pushing for the change. Anchoring investigation.
I know I'm not fucking tripping.
Is that a fly or is that a bit of makeup? I mean, ladies, talk to me. I don't know. What was that came out of her eye? Something appeared there and then somehow managed to get into her mouth. I don't know how gravity works on this planet, but that doesn't look weird. That looked weird to me.
Couldn't really see it, to be honest. My glasses weren't that good and it's only a small screen, so.
Oh, you couldn't see it?
Well, I could see something black in there, but I couldn't really make out what it was.
But that's also
a thing.
I've got it going up on a 50-inch TV. It looks like a fly that's sitting on her eyelid, and it drops down to her mouth, and it looks like she catches it. But
so the thing is, you don't know how long that fly was sitting on her eye for. So it could have been then. Obviously, the video's been cut, and she probably just swallowed it. She's live on TV. She's not going to make a big deal and just get on with it. That's a little far-fetched.
Yeah. You said you were going to start reptilians, and you started reptilians.
You know, it's odd, right? It's odd.
So is your view that the fly came out of her eye and then she ate it?
No, it was like I've got a big TV here. I've got a big TV here. It's sitting on her eyelid and like the corner of her eye while she starts talking, and then it flies away. And I don't know if she eats it or grabs it or what.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but my point is, it could have been sitting there for who knows how long before that video started. She's on live TV. What do you want her to do?
Nah.
People will say she's professional. She ate the fly. She got on with the news. Like, I don't know.
They need to pay her more.
Fair enough. All right, then let's move on to the next one. Let's get a little bit weird, shall we? Just get a bit weird. Let's go for which one can we go for? Let's go for this one.
In the non-commodity, they're called archons, and these beings, some look like reptilians and some look like gray aliens. This is amazing because this is ancient text. And then it shows that they describe the ability for these reptilian people or these reptilian entities to somehow exist kind of in the third and not in the third, but attach themselves to people, and that they kind of puppeteer these people and the people become their puppets. Pretty crazy stuff. And then the archons, the other archons, which ones look like grays, they actually eat negative energy. So they create turmoil and arguments and fights and discord and wars, and they somehow that creates a frequency that they actually eat. And if you really begin to look at science behind that, every thought we think creates a wave that leaves our skull, a wave of light that we can't see because we can only see less than 1% of the light spectrum, but is light leaving our skull right now. And that light is encoded with knowledge, information, whatever thought has been embedded right onto the light wave and sends it out of your skull. We can put an EEG cap on you and capture it so we know what's happening. Could it be that they create this low frequency vibration that creates these low negative thoughts that they somehow ingest?
Talk to me, John.
Both in unison then went, John.
Yeah, that's up your street, mate, that one.
Yeah, this is something I've been interested in for a while because I've seen a lot of theories about like major events, such as concerts, sports stadiums, like football, rugby, big, gatherings of a lot of people coming in. And sometimes you can tell there's a lot of aggression, a lot of negative energy, particularly if it's like a really bad game or a really bad result for the home team. And most of these stadiums are actually shaped like an eye. When you look at them from above, they're designed that way nowadays, particularly the modern stadiums. Or
toilet bowls in the case of Tottenham Hotspur, personally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're an eye with a toilet bowl around it. Which is appropriate with some of the football we've seen over the last few years. So, yeah, it does make me wonder, what is going on with these mass events? Are they purposely creating negative energy amongst the masses to feed off it? It's a bit out there, but it does make me wonder. Because it's a constant reel. If you watch mainstream media, it's a constant reel of negativity. There's never anything nice and light that comes on, which makes people feel down. They feel low about life and about themselves. We've lost Lorraine. I hope she's. I hope
these guys.
She's back. She's back in the game.
I thought the Archons had taken you, Lorraine.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was transported. Yeah.
I thought we disappointed you.
No.
So these it's like the Archons, the Reptilians. If you go back to every single religion, every civilization, like the Mesopotamians, the Babylonians, the Hopi tribes, the guys in South Africa, I forget the guys the tribes in South Africa, I forget their particular name. I think they called it the Chichahuri. Obviously, the Chinese have the dragon, St. George and the dragon, the serpent in the Bible. Like, it's not a new thing to have this historical tradition to either worship reptilian or lizard type or amphibian type entities. And so I know that it's come a little bit more folklore-y and a little bit more popular to think that they're aliens from a different star, like a star system or whatever. But A lot of people think they come from underground, that they live in the tunnels under the surface, and that they were the survivors of a cataclysm thousands of years ago or whatever. But they're super advanced beings. I don't know when it's absolutely everywhere, and then you still get loads of people today that say that they've seen things when they're high, when they're tripping on DMT, or when they're doing all sorts of different things, that they have experiences that look like there's like people walking around in New York that have like these giant sort of shadow things that are hooked into their beings that are feeding off their energy. You know, and when you look at the way the world works, the powers that be, the powers in high places, they love to get everybody in a bad state of mind. They absolutely adore getting everybody tripped up on negative energy. So the notion that these things feed off of a different type of food than we do, their sustenance is low frequency things. I don't know. I don't see why it's that crazy at all. Susie, are you serious?
No, Eugene in the chat is like, they're homeless. So the thing is, I mean, if we're going to go back to sort of biblical times, I mean, serpents is very much referred to the devil and the devil in disguise. So, which would explain why people on drugs, and I mean, I don't think we should take their accounts very seriously. That is where the devil obviously attacks people who are a little bit weak, and which is exactly when you go back to the whole Adam and Eve story, why it was a snake that tried to sort of influence Eve and all of that type of stuff. So the serpent itself and snakes have always been used as the devil, and even, you know, why the Pope has the, I don't know what you want to call that sticky thing, but you know, why that has the snakes on, and the snakes are always represented by evil. And, you know, if you want to go to this whole Illuminati and all the celebs have, that's all represented by snake eyes and snakes. And I don't necessarily, well, I mean, I personally don't believe in aliens. I don't think we have reptile people walking among us. I just think it's, the snake is used to represent evil as such, rather than there are, I mean, those are just evil people walking amongst us, rather than they're reptile people as such.
Are you religious?
That's my view, at least.
Are you religious, Susie?
Not heavy. I mean, I do believe in God, but I mean, I have like researched like some religions, but I mean, I'm not a heavy practicing religious individual, no.
Do you believe in demons, and do you believe in the idea of bad spirituality, spiritual forces that you can't?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't take anything personally. Don't worry about that.
No. It's open-minded. There's no judging here. Well, the chat might judge, but we don't judge amongst the panel for sure. You know? The chat is very judgy, to be honest.
The general story behind where all of the reptilians comes from was actually the Anunnaki created a reptilian race, and then they created a human hybrid race. So the reptilian race was a superior race, which is why we're subservient to them now.
The thing is, yeah, that's absolutely right. The Anunnaki created man to be a slave race to dig for gold, and gold was for the gods, and the gods lived for thousands of years, and they reigned throughout Egypt for, like, if you look at the pharaohs, there some of them would, on the king's list, it would say that they reigned for 12,000 years. Well, a human being can't live that long, but the aliens that created the man, and it's all written in the Sumerian texts, which are, there's hundreds of tablets which have been translated basically, and explain the story of it, and the story of the Anunnaki and how they came to Earth and created a slave race. Some of the stories that were in that Sumerian texts are actually in the Bible. So the Bible has taken some of these stories and put it into the Bible to sort of like the same stories, but with different names, etc. And you can find that throughout the whole, all different religions. Exactly. So yeah, very interesting, that one. That was a great rabbit hole, that one was.
Yeah, the rabbit hole is like, where did they come from? You know, that's they say they come from a constellation. Is it Orion, Sirius, and Draco? They say they originate
and Nibiru, wasn't it? It was Nibiru as well.
Nibiru, yeah. They say they come from there. But are these stars outside of a firmament somewhere, or are these lands outside of the ice?
It's supposed to be on an orbit of 3,600 years, which comes in every 3,600 years and causes chaos, doesn't it? With tides and flooding and loads of different things, earthquakes, etc. And they say that we're due another one any day now, as such. So it's interesting that this is all coming at the same time. But yeah, and if you want to call them reptilians, I mean, obviously, they were in the shape of man, which is why, but much taller. They were giants and sort of much bigger than man. And they used their own DNA with the DNA of an ape to create the slave race that they needed to dig for the gold that they needed for their planet in Nibiru. Or spaceship.
How do they get the gold off of the planet though to get it back? If Nibiru's on when Nibiru's on its way back round, when it comes home from getting its milk or whatever, and 3,000, I don't know how far through the cycle we're in.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously they have spaceships, etc. So they flew here. So but again, because of the firmament and stuff, I don't really understand how they get through the firmament as such. But the whole flat Earth thing has been because that was probably the last thing that I started really seriously looking at, because I just assumed we were in a ball. But the more I look into that, I just don't believe that anymore.
We agree with a lot, Lorraine. I like you.
It's interesting because Nikos believes. I think you were just nodding your head there, but Nikos definitely believes in the firmament and the flat Earth. Lorraine, do you believe in the flat Earth as well?
I'm beginning to believe in it. Yes, I mean, I wouldn't have said this 5 years ago, but the more I've looked into it, the more it makes sense. Well, it doesn't. What they're telling us we're on, which is on a ball spinning and then spinning around the sun, that just doesn't make sense at all. If you look at the stars and other things, it just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. The stars would be in different places every night. It wouldn't be.
Yeah, you wouldn't see the same stars all the bloody time, would you? They'd be whizzing off because you're flying through the universe and spinning at 26, however fast we're spinning. You just wouldn't see the same stars.
Exactly. I actually sent Sean a picture today. I was in a local news agents here, like a local news agents in the middle of nowhere outside of Barcelona, and they've just released their 2026 calendars for next year. And as I was kind of having a little peruse trying to find a Spider-Man one for my little boy, they've got one called the Firmament or El Firmamento. And I looked at it and there's like 3 different versions of it, and it's all based around astronomy and astrology. And I was like, oh my God, there's actually a calendar here that they actually still the guy that made it.
That's evidence though, Nikos, just because someone somewhere published made a publication.
It's the oldest calendar they have in Spain. What I found out when I did a bit of research afterwards is it's actually from a guy that actually done this in like the 1800s. So they've just kept his lineages going with these same calendars, and mate, they're like not like glossy, beautiful, coloured calendars. They're actually just very, very simple, plain black and white printed cheap calendars. But the person who designed it, and originally, he's from like 250 years ago. So it's just quite fascinating that there's still lots of links to
but back then, more people believed in the flat Earth back then.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think they tried to brainwash people 400 years ago about it with all their globes and stuff. But I think there was still a lot of knowledge that was passed down through generations. There's still a lot of texts they didn't destroy and books they didn't destroy. I think there was still a lot of information that was readily available. It's probably like a 50-50 where there was gradually getting to a point of indoctrinating people. But, there was parents that were passing information down. Like I said, there was books that were still available that you would have received from your grandparents in, their wills or whatever, from some sort of type of weird inheritance, But no, it's more of a modern thing. Like the buoy's only been around for, really shown to us the last sort of 60, 70 years. NASA was.
So do you believe all planets are flat then?
Sorry, Lorraine.
No, I was saying I don't know, what the planets are and that. All I know is what they're telling us doesn't make sense. That's what
doesn't make sense though.
Well, if you look at your spinning ball, and the sun and the spinning ball that's whizzing and going around the sun, you wouldn't see the same stars every day. And if you're on the top of the spinning ball, obviously you're spinning slower and you might see the same stars. But if you're on the edge, like whizzing round really fast, then the stars are the same. They spin the same. It just doesn't make sense.
The Polaris star never moves, so the North Star never moves. The theory that they have given us, we're spinning through space at 10,000 miles per hour at all these weird different angles and stuff, the same stars there every day, every year, that documented for
for hundreds of years. So, yeah.
So
Did you
I
know
can
the
definitely.
stars are like millions and millions and millions of miles away? So I mean, you got to put distance into that, into
Yeah, but
things.
Susie, that's the problem though with the distance thing, right? So you heard of the rule of like I forget what the name of the rule is, but essentially double the distance, half the size. Just in general, right? Like if you've got something that's I don't know 10 meters away from you and it
Yeah,
looks
it's
X
smaller.
size to you, you double it to 20 meters and it should be half as big into your eye line, to your perspective. If you look at the sun and it's at midday, a high noon, and you see the general size of it, the sun is 8 light seconds away from us, right? So if you were to go to 60, if you were to move it twice as far away, it would take 16 light seconds for the light of the sun to get to you, but it would be half as big. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if you were to double that again, it would take 32 light seconds to get to you, and it would be half as big again. Double that like 10 more times, and you're still only about, I don't know, 30 minutes of light travel time. But by that point, you've halved the size of the sun by about 12 times. So it's basically this. It would look like the size of a star. Polaris is 175, I think, light years away. Do you know how many doublings of the star, or how many doublings of, halvings of the size you would have to get to for the sun to be that far away, right? But obviously the next question would be, yeah, but I'm sure the Polaris is so much bigger than the sun, which is a fair point. I went to ChatGPT and Grok and had a raging argument on the mathematics of what it was trying to represent to me, and it was saying, I was asking all these questions, right? I was like, hang on a second, this doesn't make sense. I'm a bit of a numbers guy, so let me just figure this out. How much bigger are you saying that Polaris is relative to the sun? And it was saying it's 7,200 times bigger than the sun. But even by that calculation, the Polaris would need to be about 72,000 times bigger for it to still be visible at the same. Like it's the third brightest star in the sky, right? The Polaris is, and yeah, it's 172 light years away. Like the math doesn't math when you. I had a raging argument with ChatGPT about this, and ChatGPT apologized to me about 7 times in the debate for saying, yes, you're absolutely right, that doesn't make sense, let's try this again. And then they started like skewing the numbers, saying, oh, now we're going to bring in something called luminosity, right, which is how big the sun is and how bright it shines. And even then the math didn't math, and I was like, but that's not the math that you gave me a minute ago. How big is the sun? Anyway, long story short, I ended up winning the
Regardless
argument.
of all the maths, how does that prove that the Earth is flat then?
No, it doesn't. It just proves that when you were saying like the fact that the stars are so far away explains why the stars don't move. Like when you start to look into the distance of the stars according to what the science model says. So I'm not a flat earther, by the way. I'm not. But I'm with Lorraine. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure as fuck confident that whatever they say doesn't make sense. Like the story that they give you, that they feed you, doesn't make sense. But I still believe that the Earth is probably round, but I just don't think that the numbers make sense when you talk about the stars and the distances and the luminosity of them. Doesn't make any sense to me.
This is more my field, I think, to be honest. But to answer Susie's question, the planets are not physical bodies. Every single civilization that's documented prior to what we are now always believed that we lived under an umbrella and the stars were etched into the firmament. So the firmament moves, the stars move around, and these are known as wandering stars. So there wasn't like known as a physical body, which was a planet outside of what we know as land. There was always just a star in the sky. And whenever you look through them with a telescope, they don't look like physical bodies. If most people that look through these high-tech cameras and these high-tech telescopes, you can see it's like underwater. It's a really reflective kind of like, it doesn't look like a physical land. So they've confused people, like given lots of wrong information. So like I see that a lot of the time when you talk about the flat Earth, a lot of people are like, oh, so you believe there's 9 planets and they're all round and we're the only flat one. And it just, again, people just switch off at that point because it's like it throws them off the trail of truth. But every documented civilization that we have to this point all believed that we lived on a flat Earth and we lived underneath a firmament and umbrella, which was same to what we referenced on one of the last shows, Sean, with Werner von Braun on his tombstone, Psalms 19:1, the heavens showeth his handiwork.
Yeah, it's the firmament's in the Bible, isn't it? I mean, and as I said, it's only recently that I've started questioning it. Up until recently, I just accepted it that we were on a globe. But yeah, I'm not sure. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, I'm open now to see what else.
My next question would then be, if normally conspiracy theories is all about them trying to hide something, what in glory's name would they be trying to hide by saying that the world is round when it is in fact flat? What difference is that making to us?
It takes you away from the idea of grand design. So it's to take you away from God. That's the actual main purpose behind it. If you believe what they've told us today, that we're on a rock flying through space at all these crazy miles per hour, and part of this really big universe with this little speck of dust, it kind of like takes you away from the power that you actually were given, your birthright. So the whole idea behind it is to make you feel minuscule, unimportant, and ultimately it leads to the detachment with God. If you understood that this was a grand design and you're part of it, people would be more connected with God like they used to be.
Because they're saying that the earth is the center of the universe, isn't it? We are the center of the universe, and everything revolves around us, as opposed to we're not the center of it and we're revolving around the sun, which what we think is.
So if you realize that I'm playing devil's advocate, so I don't personally believe it, but if you consider yourself irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, you're just like a moment in time, one of billions of people, all that stuff, and it's just, everything's meaningless, then you lose faith in God, and then you're more likely to turn against God with your decisions, because you're more likely to become an atheist and those sorts of things.
And at the end of the day, I just think it's control anyway. For some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, but it's obviously at some point it's the controlling our beliefs, controlling our mindset, what we think and how we think.
Sure. Remember that video that I linked on one of
Which
the
one? The bottom one, the most recent one.
No, there was one I showed in one of the other lives with the sun in the clouds. There's
oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Let me see if I can find that one, because that gives some. I know people are going to say that that's AI, but it's well before AI.
Link,
huh?
It's look on the second link I've just sent.
Yeah,
and that shows actual stars through Nikon Coolpix camera, like Nikos was just talking about, and they're not as what people are told they are.
People read it in a book and they assume it's the truth, but the problem is they've hijacked information.
What are we doing here? Beetlejuice.
Don't say it 3 times.
Like water. Yeah, I've looked at that.
That doesn't look like a physical body, does it?
Well, I've got no idea what it should look like.
It's supposed to be a star.
That's a star, yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. So again, what is this?
Like a prism. It's like one of the new
World Cup. It's a ball of gas, so it's supposed to look like that, no?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen NASA show you a star look like that?
No. But that's what I saw when I looked at it through the thing.
Me too.
Have you ever seen NASA show any stars when they alleged footage of like the space station, or
they just show a white dot in the sky? They just show a white
one star.
But that is just it's the same as how you believe the sun is this round circle and we have little flames coming off of it. But I mean, we all know stars are balls of gas. This is what you would think it would look like. Are you expecting a physical body like a planet for a star? I'm so confused here.
I think it's just the actual, like the star. Like what? Okay, why are all the stars showing different? I guess the question is, if they're all balls of gas,
different. All stars are different. Like that's how they identify stars. I don't know.
If you look for a telescope and look at Mars, you'll see that same image with a little bit different color. And Elon Musk has apparently got a little rover driving around on it. But I don't think they're physical bodies. I think they're attached to a firmament that revolves around the center of Earth, which is us. And that would explain a lot of the theory.
I don't know if the firmament thing it does explain it. Even like Lorraine was saying a minute ago, here's a question, right? So if it's a ball of gas, then why can you see like 4 or 5 concentric rings in it? Like, why would there be black lines?
Sure, if you go into chemistry lab, like all gases react different. Like,
It's
they're all,
underwater.
I suppose, yeah. I don't know. This
It's
is all new to me.
underwater. If you look for a microscope at things, particles underwater, that's the kind of same
It's
image
the same
that you
as
would
like,
get.
and I mean, this is probably me coming more from a biblical point of view, but that's the magic of it. It's the same as like a snowflake. No two snowflakes that fall from the sky are the same. So do we believe that those are not real now? Like, I don't know what this is proving, essentially.
No, there's a grand deception that's happening here where they're telling people that we're living on an Earth and there's all these other planets, but there's no real actual proof that there are other planets out there that are round balls that you can land like rovers on, like Elon
Which is
Musk.
why I don't believe in aliens and reptilians. So that's sort of, you blow your own argument out of the water now. Because where are these reptiles coming from?
Under the ground.
I'm sorry, but this is like blowing my mind.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I get it. I like the skepticism. 5,000 years ago, the Hopi tribes believed that lizards run the earth, and this was the original design of the Anunnaki. They went under the earth with a cataclysm, and that was 5,000 years ago. So these beings that we know as reptiles or aliens, they reside here on this earth with us, but they live under the earth. They've dug out all these tunnels and they live here.
So can I ask you another question? So do you believe in the Big Bang Theory, or that the world was created by God?
No, the Big Bang Theory, again, it takes you away from God. It's like it takes you away from the grand design. If you believe in
I'm asking, what do you believe is my point?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I believe that the Big Bang is just a way of taking people away from God. Because if they said, oh, there is a God who created all this here, and this was all made on purpose, people would be searching for it. If the Big Bang Theory is a way of taking you away from thinking like that, it's the complete opposite way.
But how did
what do you believe is what I'm asking you? You didn't answer that question.
I just told you. I believe that the
Big
Big Bang Theory is nonsense.
You didn't say what you specifically believe.
Well, the Big Bang Theory, in my opinion, is a deception, and I believe there's grand design, and God created the Earth, and we live on this beautifully designed system. But yeah, there's a big deception that's going on with information, and the information has been hijacked by rich and powerful people hundreds of years ago, and the majority of people now believe this information they've hijacked.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've suppressed all the real information and taken us further and further away from God for the sole purpose of moral degeneracy.
But then would you not argue that your belief in this reptilians is taking you away from God, though? Because there's no mention of that in the Bible.
No,
Or
actually,
I know, not in the Quran or in...
No, they'll tell you that
Can I make a point here? There's a guy called Paul Wallace. He's a pastor. He was a pastor and was for 35 years used to translate the Bible across the world and give courses on, and would do that. He was quite high up, and he broke his leg or whatever, which meant he was able to sit at home and just go through the Bible. And he was going through the Bible, and he found lots of evidence to prove that aliens exist, and they have been here for many years, and he's actually got a YouTube channel called The Fifth Kind and written some books on it.
Oh, I'm writing it down on the whiteboard, Lorraine. Let's go on the whiteboard. The problem is they've hijacked information, and there's lots of parts of the Bible that they've removed, like the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls and all these things. They've removed this information. They've just left us with bits. That's why it doesn't make a lot of sense if you read it word for word these days. But they've hijacked all the information. That's why there was lots of Bible burning periods through the centuries and stuff like that. So they've just hijacked it, and unfortunately, that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense until you can kind of get your teeth into understanding that maybe we've been lied to about a lot of stuff.
King James Bible was a big change.
Yeah,
huge.
But if you check out Paul Wallace, The Fifth Kind, he goes through the Bible and he explains it, and he explains the words like Ephraim and Yahweh and all these others, and what the literal meaning is, and that it wasn't the Bible doesn't talk about one God. It actually talks about the gods. It's the Ephraim, the powerful ones, the sky gods. This is what actually the translation of the words mean, and he explains it. And because I mean, he wasn't looking for this when he started to, because he was cross-referencing it with other Old Testaments and old papers, etc. So, but his story is actually quite interesting. But he was a pastor for 35 years, so quite high up.
Also, in the Quran, there's also the jinn, right? Like their belief in the versions of of what we call demons, they call the jinn. And but I think I'm pretty sure, and if there's any people that are followers of that faith in the chat, then let us know. But I'm pretty sure that in their book, the jinn can manifest into like physical entities, and when they do, they look like they're serpent beings or some sort of like, you know, something that could be interpreted by a simple mind as being closer to a reptile than a human. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but I'm pretty sure there is.
What's John got? There?
Can you show that video I've just linked, Sean? Because that is planets through that Nikon Coolpix.
I've looked at them myself. I don't know if you ever bought if you ever bought a telescope and you look at them, like it leaves a lot more questions than answers.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Is not the same as Nikon Coolpix. Often the telescopes are programmed.
All right, so this is Venus, but is Venus also a gas planet? I can't remember.
Venus is covered in gas, yes.
Well, Mars is on there, which we're told is the most similar to
and
here.
closest. And closest.
Can you see it on the screen? Is it on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the screen. Good. Okay, sorry.
So Mars is on that video.
All right, so this is Venus. It looks a little bit more solid though than
the other one,
than the stars.
Yeah.
Still pulsating though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But could that also not just be down to humans' technology though? Like, I mean, I know the technology has advanced quite a lot, but we're also putting all of our faith in human technology.
Yeah, but NASA don't show you these types of footage, do they? They show you something that's
no. But I mean, I don't necessarily believe in what NASA gives us is true. I mean, you're going back to the whole moon landing nonsense, and whether you believe in that. So I'm not necessarily saying we need to believe NASA here, but I'm also just thinking.
No, but what I'm saying is this is a different perspective, like to the mainstream. What the mainstream will show you.
Where's Mars? What's this one? Hang on.
That's Vega. That's a star. I think Mars is next.
That's Vega, is it? Okay.
Ramon Vega.
Ramon Vega.
Nice.
He saved us in the League Cup final. There we go.
So that's Mars, is it?
So why would it look like that? Why would it not look solid? And why would it look like
it does look a little bit transparent? I've got to be honest.
These look like molecules underwater. If you look through like in a biology lab, you look through molecules on one of those little. It looks like something underwater.
And isn't there video of astronauts saying that they're gone out of space and that they were outside and they were filling up with water as well? Some astronauts that were doing that. I can't remember where I heard that. Yeah.
They're all fraudsters, I think, to be honest. I don't think they can go outside the firmament. So a lot of them are actors, Freemasons.
Yeah, true. I don't know. It doesn't appear to be, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that's where it's all shot, isn't it? In swimming pools.
A deep diving tank. Yeah, there's one of those. There's going to be one of those outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium soon.
Let's get Eugene on here. He's got a lot to say for himself in the comments tonight.
Is he in the chat? Is he being Larry?
Yeah,
is he?
This
snarky Eugene, is he? Is there any more? Listen, what I wanted to ask you this, right? Because Lorraine is obviously part, like she believes in the flat, or she's considering the flat Earth thing. Nikos, you're 100% on it. You think that there's no way of accessing the firmament. I think that's what you said as well, Lorraine. You believe in the firmament currently, but you're not married to that. You're just
yeah.
Still figuring it out,
I'm looking into it, so I'm not 100% because obviously, but the more I'm leaning towards it more than I was. I wasn't leaning at all towards it years ago, but I am. The more I've learned about stuff, yeah.
All right. So, but I heard at the start you were saying I think that the reptilians or whatever come from Nibiru. But you're not sure how they get to the firmament.
Well, the thing is, we call them reptilians, but there's if you look at John Heller, is it John Heller, which he used to be the Minister of Defence for Canada, and and he's actually written a book, hasn't he, about the different types of aliens that he has come across, and he's mentioned that he's come across 80 aliens, at least 80, and he's given you a description of the alien and from the stars of where they come from. So I don't know, and I don't know how they got through the firmament, but if you can think about it, what did you say? What you think you can manifest? So. But who knows? There's a way, and obviously, if these are aliens, well, they've come from outside anyway. But I don't know. All I know is that the more I learn, is the less I understand, and the more open I am to actually learn more.
Yeah,
My
100%.
theory to make it make sense is that there's more land outside of the ice walls, and these different
Yes, I've heard
aliens,
that as well.
what he's referencing there is things that look different to what we are. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
lots of other
From
lands outside.
outside, yes, from outside our map area of the Earth, because
Exactly.
there's which is why you're not allowed to go to certain parts, are you?
Exactly, Antarctic Treaty. But
Yeah,
one
and
of the
I've seen the maps of that as well. So it could be that they're aliens from other lands rather than from other.
Exactly, and these lands have actually got quite common names. Some of them are actually named after the planet. So there's actually lands called Nibiru. One of the furthest ones away is actually called Nibiru outside of the ice wall.
Oh,
One of
right.
them's- So it would make sense.
I must chat to you then, because you've obviously got some information that I'll probably find interesting. So I think I'll
Well,
connect
we
with
actually
you
did a video on
and
this
point
one.
me in some direction.
In
Huh?
episode 2, I think we covered the lands outside the wall. I think in episode
Okay.
2 of this show. I want to show you. I've got this. Oh, sorry, John. What was that, mate?
The Terra Infinita map. That was the one, wasn't it?
That was the one. Yeah, that was the one. See, I'm not sold on that stuff, but I'm open-minded.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
By the way, guys, there's 145 people here. When Sava gave us the raid, I was expecting it to jump to about 140, and then suddenly it would just collapse back down to about 70 real quick. But you guys have hung around, so please smash the like button. Please smash the subscribe. We're on the march towards 1,000 subs, I think now. I want to just I'm not sure which order to go in here, because I've got a video that I wanted to ask about this thing called it's a special glass. These people in Russia. I don't know if this could be completely bullshit, but this was made a long time ago, so it was before AI. I'll start with this one, but I do have some other videos on reptilians as well. We can dip into. But let me get this. Where's the? Here we go. Check this out. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
Ладно, всем пока.
Еще, короче, целый час там простоял. Нифига больше не увидел. Так что ладно, давайте, всем пока.
Всем привет. Мне тут сказали, что в ролике у меня еще 2 шара пролетает мимо. Посмотрел. Точно. Давайте посмотрим.
Обычное небо, обычные люди, блядь, ходят, все нормально. Оп. Вот такая.
Вот они 2 шара. Тарелочка и 2 шара. Даже не заметил во время съемки, когда я снимал.
So apparently some sort of glass technology that can see things. A bit like the film They Live.
Yeah, They Live. Yeah, exactly. It's like they're just cloaked or have some sort of type of cloaking technology to disguise themselves, and we don't see it with the naked eye.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon? Let's come to the chief skeptic on the.
My first thing is going to be all of these type of videos with UFOs. And it's the same if we go into these crop circles. Why is it always Russia and America? You never see anything in like Africa, in Australia.
Crop circles in Somerset.
Crop circle. The capital of crop circles is Somerset.
UK.
Yeah, Somerset.
No, but my point. Okay, UFOs. Why is there never any UFOs anywhere else in the world but America? Or Russia.
Well, maybe they are, but we just don't hear about them. I mean, who knows?
You would see them. Somebody would have seen them. Like,
well, yeah, but whether it would have been aired on the television and the news would be another matter.
Yeah,
Can I say this for the first time? I don't think I said this to you guys before, even when this show was on Sean Butler TV last year. I was in Washington, D.C. When I worked in America. I was getting on a train at like 8 o'clock in the morning from wherever I was in my hotel, going into Washington, D.C., into the city center. And I was sat there on the train looking up, and a plane is taken off from Washington, D.C. airport, right? And I swear to God, as God is my witness, I'm not making this up. I wasn't tired. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high. I wasn't hungover. I was perchy. I was not perchy. I was peaky and perky. I was peaky and perky. I was going into a sales meeting, so I was completely ready for the day. And I look up and I see this plane taking off, and all of a sudden there's this black this black blob that's flying around the back, or like hanging around the back of the airplane. And I legit thought that it was like a suitcase that had like somehow slipped out of the back of that hadn't been put into the hold all or whatever. The plane was just taking off, and this thing flew around the back of the plane, went like back and forth around the wings, and then all of a sudden it just came out like about 50 feet to the north, and then just fucking vanished. And I was like, What? What did I just? What the hell was that? I checked the glass on the train to see if I was imagining there was a smudge.
Yeah.
I swear to God, this black thing was flying around the back of the plane, and then it flew out and then just popped into and just disappeared. God's honest truth, that happened.
I've seen in Barcelona, I used to have an attico, so I used to see the sky every night. I used to be infatuated with the stars. I used to go out every night, look at the stars, and I used to see over Mount Tibidabo, I used to see a lot of like lights that would disappear behind it. I never saw like an obvious UFO, like lights like they show in the movies and stuff, but I see lots of like unexplained aerial phenomenon like over Barcelona.
I think it happens all the time. Have you guys, anyone else ever seen anything weird?
I did. I saw, this was about, when was it? About 8 years ago. It was 6 o'clock. It was February. I was driving to my daughter's. The sun was going down, and I saw the sun. And then at the 3 o'clock position, I saw another sun by the side of it. It was all cloudy, and then I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And then the clouds went over it. Only one of the suns. The other sun was, but it was like, "What the fuck was that?" I saw two suns in the sky. One was slightly smaller than the other one.
That's a great conspiracy, Lorraine, actually, because it is actually Bill Gates talked about this a lot. They designed a second sun, like a mechanical sun, to go around.
Yeah, it's called the simulator now, isn't it?
Exactly. They actually said it out
well,
there.
that led me to actually start looking, which is how I came across Nibiru and the Anunnaki, because it was talking about the two suns. And that's how I then came to find out the simulator patent for the false sun that they put in front. And that led me to another one on YouTube, which is about a woman, and her channel is The Final Days, and she has lots of interesting information on her channel. But yeah, she's a religious person who thinks the world's coming to an end. But yeah, there's some fascinating stuff on her channel.
These two suns, this is like a double sun witness.
Yeah, that's a double sun. Mine was at the 3 o'clock position, and it was brighter, and a bigger than that one.
Yeah, the fake sun is more like white. It's more like a white.
Yeah,
color.
it is. Yeah, and that's what they have in front of the sun at the moment, I believe. I don't know, but in my day, the sun was always yellow. Now it's white.
Exactly.
There was a TV advert, wasn't there, showing that, where they changed one of the light bulbs on the simulator.
Yeah.
It's mad what they're up to. It's mad what they're up to, these guys.
Have you ever seen those? I'm not sure if this is more to do with chemtrails, but have you ever seen the shadows in the sky caused by chemtrails that are underneath the chemtrails? Like, how does that work? And it makes you think maybe there is either the metals that are in the chemtrails that are causing reflections in weird ways that are a little bit difficult to understand for my brain, or Nikos would say it's reflecting off the firmament.
I didn't say that.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I have seen that as well. You know, I've seen the shadows as well. And who's seen the sundogs now? How many of you been seeing the sundogs on either side at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position?
Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
It wouldn't surprise me if more artificial suns flying around up there. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's very odd.
If they mastered that technology once, it wouldn't shock me they did it again.
Do it again. Well, if you look at the Anunnaki illustrations, they have the sun and they have this sort of round thing around it with this what they call the sundogs at the side at 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position, and we're seeing more and more of that. Have you seen the sun halo, the halo around the sun, which I saw over in Australia when I was over? I've seen that quite a few times, and it's also around the moon. Sometimes you can see the halo around the moon. This never used to be there years ago, so I don't know quite what's going on. Not that I noticed years ago.
As Sean said, it could be something they're pumping in the sky. It could be something they've made and floating around. It could be anything. It could be a reflection off of the firmament in certain parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think actually, since I've been looking at it, I think with the firmament is it's affecting whatever's going on there. But something's changed within it, because it certainly wasn't. I never saw that when I was younger, but I see it all the time now.
Yeah, when you were younger, did you ever see
sun halo? Especially the sun halo. I haven't seen it for the last couple of years, but there was a period of time where the sun was always in this massive sort of big halo, and it was darker inside and then lighter on the outside. And I've seen some, I don't know if you've seen these photographs where the there seems to be like a stripe down the middle of the sky, and one side's a different color to the other. Has any of you seen those photographs?
Like that, you mean?
No, it's like I took a picture of it actually because I was on the phone to my boyfriend at the time, and I remember saying, "What the fuck is that?" It was basically this line through the sky straight away, but the two sides of the sky were different colors. But it was a dead straight line all the way through, and yeah, it was very odd. I took some photographs. I've seen it again since, but
I've seen
yeah,
I've seen the one with the sea or the ocean. I've seen a boat going past in the ocean, and there's like one half of the sea is completely dark blue, and the other one is completely.
yeah, that's where the two seas meet. I think that's a different thing.
Is that just natural? Is it? Are we okay
Yeah, I
with that?
think that's yeah. There is an area where that is the case. But I don't. I took a photograph, but unfortunately, that phone that I had, I've lost, so I don't know where that picture is. But I sent it to my boyfriend at the time, so yeah, but it was very odd. So I've seen a few weird things in the sky, but no UFOs.
John's got his hand up. John's got his hand up.
Sean, can you play that video I've just linked in?
Grabbing a bit.
It's not real, don't worry.
John, you're so polite, mate. You're so polite. Listen, on the one thing that you guys have to realize, like, it's just a like free for all. If you got something to say, jump in whenever you can. Whenever someone pauses for breath, just jump in if you can. You know, otherwise you'll be standing there being too polite and you'll get left behind in the conversation. What was the? Oh, you sent it to me in the private chat, haven't you? Let's have a look. This one here. What's this? Sky trumpets. What am I looking for
That's
on
the
it?
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Oh, do you need the sound on?
Yes, please.
Okay, hang on.
Can we get Nikos back in first?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to get what am I doing here? Where is it? I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized. Not that I'm monetized, but I don't want to get copywritten for having baseball on. Fuck it. Looks like it's old enough. Let me zoom in a little bit different.
Just grab my beer.
And the bunt is foul. The count is 1-1. Now, what could that possibly be? Somebody shut the door. It sounds supernatural.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're called the trumpets, isn't it?
Like the four horsemen. Couldn't that just be like war games? Couldn't that just be people testing war machines or something?
No.
There's ones where it sounds more mechanical. There's ones that I've seen that where it's more mechanical.
Yeah, that's not the best one, that one.
See what Pennsylvania's got. Dogs always know. Dogs always know.
What the heck?
It's just
I
a
don't
plane.
think that's coming from the warehouse. That's really weird. And that's motors, dirt bikers down there. It's not what we were seeing.
I'm not coming again. I'm not coming again.
Ooh, there it is again.
That just sounds like a plane or something to me, like a low-flying cop.
It's not the best one. There's others that are better than that.
Yeah, I've seen hundreds of these. Hundreds of them sound different.
Yeah.
They sound like it sounds like metal scraping. Like yeah.
Trumpets.
One, isn't it?
Good acting from the Chinaman there. What's that?
So what are we saying these sounds are?
I have no idea. And usually I've got an answer for everything.
Okay.
Well, if I heard that, I would run home.
Yeah.
Hide under my blanket.
I've heard of the trumpets. It's actually in the Bible as well. It's where and I've heard from the final days, the program on the final days on YouTube. They talk about the earth moving and it's causing pressure, and it creates this sound because the earth's moving. I don't know, but they talk about it as in the final days, and apparently it's in the Bible. The trumpets
Yeah, I'm
sing.
pretty sure the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse come, and 2 of them have
Yeah,
got trumpets.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's supposed to be. But who
Part
knows?
of the
We
reason why I
can't.
believe in Saturn being part of all of this is because I remember seeing some random video on YouTube like years and years and years ago, and I could never find it again. And there was this guy that was looking into the moons of Saturn, and one of them looked like, in the shape of the moon, it looks so much like a horse, like a man on a horse. It's unbelievable. Oh, that's where the horseman, like the narrative comes from. People that weren't educated just making sense of what they saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, enough trumpets. It's
Scary.
interesting though.
It sounds big, whatever it is.
I've never heard of the sky trumpets before.
Yeah, trumpets.
That's another theory, isn't it, about the firmament, that when there's lightning, it creates that sound of thunder because it's hitting the firmament. And there was someone who did a test on it, and they popped balloons inside this dome, and it made like the crackling thunder sound.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well.
Also, as well,
I've still got a massive problem though with the notion of the firmament, just because, like, you know, there's craters, isn't there, from where meteors, like massive meteorites, hit the Earth and things. Like there's and there's ones that have been caught on camera in Moscow and stuff. And even if those things are, as you said before, Nikos, like just, you know, parts of the firmament falling in, if there's waters above the firmament and a bit of the firmament falls off, like surely the flood we'd be flooded, right?
No,
Where's
well,
the
it depends how thick it is.
Where's the meteorite, Sean, that hit it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What? Apparently it vaporized. Apparently it was vaporized into plasma. I hear you though. It's a bit of a stretch. Yeah. Where is the vapor? Where is the
This
meteorite?
massive rock that's flown from thousands of millions of miles outside of the atmosphere has flown in, left this massive dent on the Earth, and then just vaporized.
Yeah. And they keep telling us that killed all the dinosaurs.
But it's missing. But the rock's missing.
Yeah.
Maybe the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the rock's not there.
No.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it, really, when you think about it?
Susie's really struggling to get on board this.
Who knows? Who knows?
Because Susie, you can't hide your skepticism in your face.
She's thinking these weirdos.
I thought
Percy, you made me give up my Tuesday evening for this. I was
You know, I mean, there's this thing about the governments, I mean, especially sort of happening in South America and America again, where the planes and the helicopters are releasing like thousands or millions and millions of infected mosquitoes and stuff. I thought we were going to talk about stuff like that, really.
Oh, I've got some other stuff. I've got some weird shit for you. How about this one? Let's get back to kind of just more crazy stuff. How about this one? Let's go to the WEF. Let's talk about them for a little bit.
Having seen that person commit the crime, even though that person's utterly innocent, that it becomes a planted memory. And so there's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. And in a different context, one of the emerging areas that's really interesting in law neuroscience is pain detection. And once we understand the circuitries that cause pain, I guess the question is, could we then instill pain and use that in many coercive measures in the legal system as well? So.
Wow, that's amazing.
What are we saying here? Planting false memory. This is sort of what's that film Minority Report, where they do like pre-crime, all that stuff. You could really stitch someone up if they've got the technology to be able to implant memories. You know, I think we did a video about this the other night where they were saying that there was new technology where people that have committed crimes could go through a procedure where they have their brain essentially wiped of the memories of what they've done, and also insert empathy and sympathy, and they can make the brain feel and recognize the pain that they've caused in other people. And so if you go through that treatment, then you are, you know, you're not going to have to spend all the time behind bars. So essentially try to change your wiring. But it's just the same technology can be used in the inverse, right? You've got a person
Absolutely.
that
Wasn't it Total Recall
hasn't
that
done
they
anything
did
wrong
that
with
with
the.
Yeah,
Sorry,
this is
John?
when
Total Recall, wasn't it? Where they gave them a memory that wasn't real.
That's right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. Do you remember where Ryan Gosling is the Blade Runner and they implant a memory, and he's told it's a fake memory or something. He finds out, doesn't he, that the memories are manufactured.
Mm. There's a few films like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Black Mirror. Nikos, did you catch up on Black Mirror yet?
Mate, we only spoke 2 days ago. I've been busy.
I gave you homework, right?
What's Black Mirror?
It's on my black.
Lorraine, you haven't seen Black Mirror either?
No.
Oh my god. Get yourself, have you got an IPTV or you've got a Netflix subscription?
Yeah.
Okay. Go and search for Black Mirror. There's like, I don't know, probably like 15 episodes now, and they are all super trippy, unbelievable stories written by a guy called Charlie something. Charlie Booker, I think it is. He's obviously clued in. I'm sure he's a Freemason or something. He's dialed into where technology goes, and he takes these concepts of like the not too distant future, that there'll be some technological advancement that will be presented as a benefit, and then they'll take a specific storyline of a potential person, just normal person, and they'll use that person's storyline, and they'll go through both the pros and the cons of the dangers and the positives of how these technological advances can be, both awesome but also brutal at the same time. And it's just a mind trip. It's some of those episodes are just unbelievable. I can't believe I'm sitting here. Have you seen it, Susie?
Mm-mm.
John, tell me you've seen Black Mirror.
Yeah, we said that the other night, didn't we?
You've seen it. Yeah,
seen that one with the cancelled episode with John Hamm, who's the one who's cancelled. And he's
that's right. Yeah, that's so.
I don't
weird,
really
that one.
watch much television. That's the thing. So, but
this will be
now
right
I've
up your-
heard of it. I will
right up
check
your
it out.
street. It'll be right up your street.
If you don't watch
homework
television-
for all of you by next week. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't watch television, they can't indoctrinate you. But to go back to the original point there, this is where Neuralink, Elon Musk company, Neuralink. We spoke about it briefly on one of the other shows, I think, the other night. But the inmates in prisons will be given the option for early release if they install that brain technology chip into their brain. And this is where the Minority Report thing that you mentioned will come in, because they'll be able to monitor what that thought process is of that person, and then you'll be judged based on that thought process before committing a crime. So the more people that
they'll bring the technology in
To be honest, I mean, to be honest, they may say that they're doing it for the good, but personally, I just don't think any of these chips or whatever they're doing, they're going to be doing it for the betterment of mankind. It's just not something that I can see.
They'll hack your brain, won't they?
That would be so nice if that was the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Elon Musk will he'll do his Neuralink to help people that are paralyzed walk again and all that sort of thing. And everyone will be like, wow, it's amazing. And it will be amazing for those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Eventually everyone will be sold the idea that you're just you're a stupid human right now, but you can be superhuman. You can read a book in 3 seconds if you just insert the chip, and everyone will jump on it. And then at some point they'll hack it, and then you're all just a compliant lemming.
But that's this whole chip thing is also something that has gone many years back to biblical times as well, because they talk about the coming of God again, and the time that comes is all about everyone's going to have a chip, and you need to refuse the chip and all of that. And it's the same as this whole digital ID and stuff. So that stuff I can get on board with, because I think that all is evil. And
well, some say that the chip has been passed through nanoparticles through the vaccine, don't they?
God, me and Lorraine are going to get like a house on fire, honestly. I haven't said much today.
But there's things on social media though that some people, especially like in China and stuff, they've already got it implanted in their wrists. So it's like they're cards as well, and they can go and pay for stuff and all of that.
Well, that's the chip they're aware of. But I have I watched something which talks about France, that they found that some of these doctors realized that they were getting these numbers through, like BLE readings, and there was all these numbers. Anyway, their way they went into a deserted area, and they had people coming and they were noting their numbers. Basically, they had a BLE scanner. So instead of like a BLE, you got a Bluetooth scanner and a BLE scanner, which is picking up data that's been admitted. Anyway, they realized that people are actually already chipped, most people who have been vaccinated through nanotechnology. If you can check this for yourself. For example, I thought I'm going to go and check this. So I took my phone and I go to my sailing club, and there wasn't anyone because I was working in the sailing club at the time. I was doing behind the bar. And so I got the BLE scan and I scanned the area to find out what devices were local at that particular time. And there was like 5 or 6. There wasn't that many. Nobody was in there, and there wasn't that many. It was just me. And then that night we had a party. So I did the scan again, just to see, you know, what was in there. And there were over 100 people, but I had over 300 numbers on my phone saying that there was 300 BLE, you know, numbers basically.
Yeah.
So who knows? But it
You say the
seems
BLE
that,
is now in. Everyone is vaccinated. You know what?
I'm not
Every time
saying,
we
apparently they did
talk
the
about
test that
vaccines,
they
Lorraine,
did. The text that they did, it wasn't in everyone. It was, they said it was 80% of people who were vaccinated. That the
every
test that they
time
did
I
in
come
France.
onto one of these shows, Lorraine, and the idea of vaccines come up, I got vaccinated. I got two vax. I mean, I was well
Right.
against it, and I've never felt the same since my second one. But Nikos has
Right.
told me that I'm now dead inside, that I haven't got a
Didn't
soul.
tell
You're
you
telling me
this.
that I'm basically a blue light emitting.
No, but you can check this for
eyeball.
yourself. I mean, you can do a BLE scan.
A BLE scan on myself.
Well, if you turn your, well, it's difficult because your number's going to come with you everywhere you go, obviously, but you could check it to see what else is there. So, for example, when I was in Mersey, I checked when I was in my caravan up in First Chase. So I did a scan. There was nothing. There was no one around. And then my family, because my family are vaccinated, my family came and we were in exactly the same spot. And yeah, there were 5 or 6 numbers came up.
Turn off all your Wi-Fi, Sean, and then do a search.
Yeah,
No, you know what? You know, I got hacked last year, right? I got hacked last year by some Israeli guys who I now know are like attached to Israeli intelligence and all this stuff. So, and they're still embedded in all my system. And I turn off Bluetooth and everything. But whenever I turn on Bluetooth on my phone, it immediately tries to connect to something that I could be in the middle of a field, and it's like it's trying to connect to something, a WebOS TV. And I've always been like, how? There's nothing. I'm like 100 meters away from any other. Like, it's grass in 100 meters in every direction. What could it possibly be trying to connect to? And now, Lorraine, you put the shits up me that it's connecting to my fucking arm.
Sorry,
Or something.
I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying if you do a scan when there's people around and you do another scan when there's nobody around that same area, the numbers will be different.
How do you do a BLE scan, Lorraine?
You can get a scanning app on the phone, which will scan Bluetooth and BLE. You can either do a Bluetooth scan, which will connect to other phones and devices, but a BLE scan is basically a one-way scan. So it's data that's emitting out, and you won't be able to connect with it.
It's infrared and Bluetooth.
I don't know.
Oh, your old friend's back, Nikos.
Who's that?
Guess.
Oh, Mrs. Marple.
Yeah. Florence is back.
Hello, Mrs. Marple. I've been on my best behaviour tonight, I promise.
I was back in the house. You said, what's the point of it?
What's the
point of what?
I suppose she means the BLE scan, but you got to ask yourself, not what's the point, but why would they do it?
Why would they put it in there? And apparently it's some nanotechnology that's self-assembling over a period of injections or vaccinations. And I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying what I've heard and what I've researched, and what but I do know that the scan that I did in the sailing club that night that we had the party was, there were about 300 numbers, and when I went there in the morning there was only about 7.
Yeah,
and the only thing that was different, I mean, obviously some of those could be phones, I suppose, but still there was too many. And also the numbers are different from a phone. You can tell it's a different type of thing that your device that you're attaching to. That if there's a certain number, it's letters and numbers, and each one's different.
Are they called iMac devices or something?
Yeah, so sometimes you can see what it is, but with the other ones, it's just letters and numbers, and they're all different.
The technology that's in the mRNA vaccinations was graphene oxide. That's the stuff that assembles inside of the body and builds a transmitter.
Yeah.
So it basically over time, it's like it joins itself. It's like it can be spread all over the body, but gradually it kind of like builds itself its own little. This is how a lot of the blood clots are being misdiagnosed as stage 4 turbo cancers.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
do you think that it's not only from the vaccines, but also through the what do they call them? The tests, where they put the thing up the nose.
The PCR tests and stuff. Yeah, well, I've never had one of those.
Yeah, never mind. Those, I think those were all tainted. I think if you got them from
absolutely,
yeah, remember there used to be big testing sites all over the country.
And they go right back to the blood-brain barrier at the back there. There was no reason, if this is that contagious, why do they need to go all the way back there? They could just do it at the top. Just, I think that they were, infected of some kind.
I think so. I think that was all.
Marple's getting look. She's saying that's my question, John. No need to get on your high horse, John. I'm allowed to ask.
Let her ask whatever she wants, John. Let her ask whatever she wants.
Listen, this is what we do here, okay? Everyone's got different takes to it. John, manage to get on your high bloody horse, John. All right,
mate. We're going to do a show with John and Mrs. Marple. They're going to be debating each other.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's not just you.
I want to pivot to
I've ruled it back in.
I want to pivot to. We've done the false memories one, haven't we? Yeah, we've done that one. I want to ask you: do you believe in crisis actors, guys?
Oh yeah! I'm so happy you pulled that up. I'm so happy you pulled up a subject I know about.
I'm so excited.
Let me get out my whiteboard. Let me get out my whiteboard. Let me flip through all these pages of documents.
Yeah, they're definitely crisis actors. Definitely.
Google Henry Dine. D-Y-N-E.
I've got it for you here. Watch this. What's
his name?
Henry Dine.
Henry Dine. Let's have a look at. Put it into Google. Oh, Henry G.H. Dine. What could he be? Let's have a look. Oh, award-winning crisis actor, Henry Dine. What a man. There he is there.
What you got?
It's almost like he's been paid to pretend he's got COVID and he's on the telly. Well, shiver me timbers.
Are you having the bag on me?
No, not at all. What a scumbag.
Does it say at the bottom this is only an acting?
No. He's pretending to be real.
And this is BBC?
This is the BBC News. Now. Like right now.
Right now?
Right now. And he's a crisis actor.
80% of the patients here. I don't believe they do that, Chris, because there's too many people.
I've seen that, and I've seen many others.
Wait, that was unscripted. I didn't even know that was coming up. And I threw the name out before you...
Just quickly, I don't understand what they proved, though. Like, he's got an Instagram account that's called Crisis Actor. Come on now.
Yeah. Basically, there's lots of events. Remember Alex Jones, like 2 years ago, lost a big court case in America. He claimed that Sandy Hook had a lot of crisis actors and the whole event was staged. What they've been doing for a long time is anything to do with medical mass casualty simulations and firefighter police training exercises or military disaster response drills. They basically employ, and there's loads of websites out there where you can employ people and they will come and act to see if they've been injured or they've been part of a...
The thing is, this does sound so far-fetched, but unfortunately, the more you look into it, it does appear to be correct in the sense that there are crisis actors going out there. And you would hope that this wouldn't be the case, wouldn't you? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but actually, there's many instances that I've come across where you've seen that, the crisis actors.
Yeah, the Boston.
I know,
the Boston bombings,
it's madness.
Remember the Boston bombings in America as well? That was another. They've been doing it for about 30
The thing is, if they're going to set up a false flag, then they have to do something to make it appear real. And so, what better way than to put a movie set up and just create the drama? I'm not saying awful. And I'm not saying all false flags are there, because obviously some of them are real and, they're disastrous. But I have seen this as well.
Mate, it's big business. There's actually big recruitment agencies out there that work with these types of people, mate. Like, I know people that have applied to these agencies, mate. Send in your headshots. They give you a bit of work. They pay you 5-time minimum wage. Like, it's big business. You'd be surprised how much money.
You have to sign an NDA, though, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, you make yourself...
If you're going to sign an NDA, you're not also going to have an Instagram account called Henry Dine By the way, the name is fantastic. But Henry Dine, crisis actor.
Sean, so hold on. This crisis actors is something that you're skeptical about, but you're not skeptical about stuff like the Earth is flat and reptilians and.
She's got you. She's got you.
I draw the line. I draw the line at fake acting. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that there are 100% there's crisis actors. I've seen what's his name? Who's the CIA? The guy with the grey hair who does a CNN, whose mum was like some ridiculous wealthy socialite who lived in the giant house with the kind of Pizzagate swimming pool. I forget the guy's name. What's his name? I forget the guy's. Someone in the chat will let me.
Cooper.
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Right, so there's shitloads of crisis acting guy in his history, right? Before when he was in the CIA, I 100% believe in crisis actors. My only point is that if you are a crisis actor and you're getting paid 500 quid to lie in a hospital bed, first of all, your name Henry Dine is a little bit suspicious.
Maybe it's not that bright.
But second of all, if you're signing an NDA, you're not also going to have an Instagram account that says Henry Dine crisis actor as his job, is he? Like that's the bit that's stupid. That's the bit that's stupid.
I think I said in one of the previous shows, mate, the greatest movies have the greatest actors, and some of these people are actually actors by trade. They're employed to do a job. But during the COVID times, you know, a lot of the stuff that you would have seen on BBC, ITV, all these news stations, like a large percentage of it were these employed crisis actors who were pushing the narrative that they would die in hospital on ventilation so that people would be scared, using fear tactics to go in and get their vaccination.
Yeah.
It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
Susie, sorry. I don't think you listened to her, but I've said I'm skeptical on all of it. You say I'm definitely on board reptilians, by the way. 100% I believe that reptilians are real. 100%. Flat Earth, I'm open-minded, but I'm certainly not sold on it.
We'll get there.
Who's Elon Musk into the studio?
That's Eugene. That's Eugene on his second account.
His burner account.
I couldn't stay away. John called me out. I had to make an appearance.
I knew it.
I'm not afraid.
Hi, Eugene. How are you?
I'm good. I can't stay away from you guys. I feel.
It's gravity, mate. Do you believe in gravity? I'm not sure.
I do. I'm just coming back from my son's parent-teacher conference, so I was about to ask his science teacher about flat Earth, but I figured
you get your kid on the naughty list. If you do that, But if you ever want the right questions to ask, though, I'm your guy.
Elon, are you on reptilians?
Oh, I love her. I love him.
But you're not buying into it because now I have to put you over here. I have to put you on the right side, okay? You and Susie can sit together in the skeptic corner, okay?
Skeptic when it comes to certain things, but aliens, reptilians, that's up my alley. I
think Sean and Lorraine are somewhere in the I'm open-minded to everything, but not sold on anything entirely yet. And then on the far left, we've got Nikos and John that are fully.
It's just I was so happy minding my own business, listening, but every time flat Earth comes up, I get very worked up.
Mate, do you notice I don't bring it up? You notice I don't bring it up at all. I'm just the one that defends it. Just for the reference.
Hey,
I never bring it up.
Hey, I respect all opinions, but I cannot control how my my body feels about flat Earth. I just get this.
We'll get to you too, mate. We'll get to you too. We'll get all of you.
So can I get a show of hands? I just want to get where everyone is, right? So if you are a believer in the following notions, right? Hand up or thumb up, thumb down if you're not on it, and one of these if you're sold. And in the chat, I need ones for I'm on board it, and zeros if no chance you're all losing your minds. And then put like a hyphen if you're open-minded. Okay. So flat Earth, where are we at? All right. So
someone else.
There's a couple. There's still there. There's not a lot of takers on the flat Earth in the chat.
I'll get you all.
There's no takers. There's not a single flat earther out there. Yeah,
That's all
there's
right.
a couple of
Okay,
people
well-
that are indifferent.
But remember what I said? We all started from the same place. We all got indoctrinated by the same program. It's just a learning curve and getting along the
But
levels,
I don't
understanding the
I don't know if
lives.
you have to do like a whole episode on it, because I don't think you've said anything that's kind of made people actually think, oh, I need to go think about this more. Because normally people who believe in flat earth have a certain stereotypical name about them.
Oh, you need to watch back all the other episodes, Susie.
Have you spoken about it before?
I try a few times. I get labelled
We had a
crazy.
fight about it.
Every episode gets at least a 20-minute flat earth segment.
Okay.
And I never bring it up. And I never, ever bring it up. I also like to say this. If you're interested in that subject, Eric Dubay has got a YouTube channel that is now uncensored. He's got lots of information, and he's the author and the godfather of the modern day flat earth theory. He's done a remaster of his video called 200 Proofs That the Earth is Not Spinning. And it's like an hour-long documentary. It's quite fascinating. I watched it as a skeptic the first time I saw it, but if you watch it a couple of times, like the flags go up, you know. So rather than me trying to do it in injustice, I would suggest that people actually check that out, and it might actually answer a lot of the questions.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back next episode.
My only thing on
Good on you, Susan.
Nikos, Destiny gave us a thumbs up.
Oh,
you got
After ringing you the other night, he's giving us a thumbs up.
Ah, see, I'm getting them. One at a time. I'll get them one at a time.
We know Destiny as the mod father. He's king moderator in all of the various YouTube channels that I've got. I've got more channels than the psychic. All right, next topic. Just so I'm clear.
Go on, next one.
Aliens are real, and they're from elsewhere, or they're underground. Aliens are real.
So which one is it?
What?
Aliens are real.
Aliens are real.
The word alien means something extraterrestrial outside of our world, right?
Yeah, we'll start with that one. We'll start with that one.
We're going like space aliens.
Well, if we say our world is our world, so it could be beyond our world. So
I don't know. I'm going to just put one up, one down like this.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so aliens are real and they're from somewhere else. We're saying some of us are saying that, some of us are saying no, right? But an alien or aliens are real. Like there's other species, other things that are in control, but they're from here. They're just hidden. How about that one?
both.
All outside of the earth.
They're from here, from there, and interdimensional. So
They're everywhere. Oh, Eugene.
Elon.
Change your fucking name back to Eugene, you donut.
No. I'm in the Elon's car, and my name is Elon Musk. Just
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Exactly.
My friend.
By the way, so Susie's funny. Susie's on the conspiracy channel, and Susie, you don't believe in any conspiracies, which is
So
awesome.
I do though, but I'm not far-fetched stuff. So I believe in things like the digital ID card and the control.
Okay, so you're
I
like me.
believe in that they're trying
Honest
to
aliens. Okay.
depopulize the world. I believe in these real conspiracies
Okay,
that
fair.
are and not.
Yeah, but why
in
would they
the-
do? Why would they do that if they're human beings? Like, if have they got no empathy? Are they like they must be?
No,
they must be
no,
coming
the
at it from a
government
different
is-
perspective.
No, but have you not read about these the Bezos, you know, the Amazon guy, and the Microsoft Bill Gates, how they all want to buy like the water supply of the world so they can control everything. And this is what I
Yeah.
said about all the helicopters and planes going over America and South America, releasing the millions and millions of infected mosquitoes and all of this. And obviously this is where the pandemic comes and the COVID vaccine. And so I believe in all of those things. Like that is
They want
not
to kill off. They want to
greater
kill off
good.
90% of humanity, right?
What's that?
They want to kill off 90% of humanity.
I mean, I didn't know the exact percentage. I mean, that's scary when you spoke about it the other night. But I do know that, yeah, they want to control and they want to depopulize. Yeah.
An interesting thing you brought up there.
That's a pretty fucked up thing that for any human to come to the decision to do. So, like, to me, that's sort of the sort of thing that someone who doesn't represent the human condition would.
No, but this is what I spoke about. It's demons, but the people are evil. Money is evil. Money is the root of all evil. So that's why when you think of all these celebrities, and they all do bad things because money just makes you go delali, and it changes your whole perception of things. You lose that, I think, as you grow in fame.
I think that could be true, but also that's what got me looking into the Anunnaki, actually. And I know this sounds weird, and I think David Icke talks about this. He's like, the Anunnaki created man in the image of themselves, and then they had sex with the image and created what they call the Nephilim. And it was the Nephilim that they put in charge of the slaves, the humans. And it's the Nephilim families, this is what David Icke says as well, that have been in control of the humanity. But that's because they think that they are better than humans. They are more like the gods than they are human, because they've got more Anunnaki in them. And that's where I think it comes is they just think they call us animals because they're, we're useless eaters, whereas they're sort of, more godly. And so I think that's why these families and very rich people that have been in control of the population for hundreds of years have seem to think that there's too many of us, which is where the depopulation bit all comes in.
So I agree with some of the notions that you've just said, and someone's obviously just put you about this whole Agenda 2030, because I've read a lot into that, and all of these sort of weather that happen, in Jamaica, and how they use all of these big natural disasters to control certain things in the world.
Yep.
So my view is, and I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily think it's reptilian people or different breeded people. I do just because my view is if that was the case, if there are these reptilian people, they could have easily depopulated hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Why are they taking such a slow, long process to do that? That's
question.
my only.
Apparently, if you look at Graham Hancock, there have been these events in the past where they have the floods. Actually, in the Bible, we're talking about they wiped out humanity, and again that goes back to Enlil and Enki from the Anunnaki. And Enlil didn't like humans. There was too many of them, were too noisy, etc., and he wanted to kill them off, which is how he created the flood. And this is in the Sumerian text, which is basically the story of the Noah. But yeah, it is interesting, and whether they're aliens or the Nephilim or whatever, but that sort of made sense to me, because as you think, why are these psychopaths think that it's okay to depopulate or to try and get rid of 90% of the world, which is what they're currently trying to do. But I can understand that it's not just the rich. I mean, obviously these, as you say, the pop stars, etc., and celebrities get involved. I think they're blackmailed and brought into the system and controlled themselves. So
massively, because what we do,
none of us, they're not even free. And to be fair, all these people, I mean, how can they like being in that environment? I mean, it's not a very loving environment if they're all psychopaths who would. Christ, fancy that at all. But anyway, it's a whole nother subject. Sorry.
They like it that they're in control, but they fear revolution. So the reptilians, aliens, angels, they reset the cycle when we get too ahead of ourselves, and we can challenge them to a certain percentage. Yeah. One thing that Susie brought up there that was quite interesting is she mentioned like the water control. One of the reasons why Bill Gates has brought up quite a large percentage of farmland in America is for the aquifers underneath. The aquifers, the clean water supplies all over the world have been bought up by billionaires, so that at some point in the future they can actually control the fresh water supply.
I've actually got
isn't the guy
that oh, sorry, go on, Lorraine.
So isn't the guy that was the head of the water board? Is it Nestle's or water?
Nestle, Nestle,
yeah. Isn't he now the head of the WEF?
Not sure.
I think Klaus Schwab stepped down, and he's now taken over. Yeah,
I think so. Just quick, I've got a little cheat. I don't know how I found this one in my Instagram, but just funny you brought up water, because I'm with you on the control of the water thing and what Bill Gates wants to do. But there's another part of it with the crypto tokenization of water. I've got this little video for you.
For monetizing water, we've just signed an agreement for water as a RWA, real world asset. I wish him the best. I'm not competing with anyone, but we're supporting him. We also have a strategic partnership. We don't sell and buy water.
Tokenizing water?
He's looking to tokenize water.
Tokenize water?
Yeah. But it will be backed in reserves in Texas.
Okay.
So there is an underlying asset.
And that's why people are buying up those lands. Like Bill Gates, I've seen, is buying up everything in farmland.
This is when I first met him, I was thinking about that. We'll see. Yeah. I think, look, his response to the concept of, the negative PR that could bring, is that the reason we're in this mess is because of how people are looking at water as if it's free and that's it. It's not free. It's costly. You need to clean it. You need to move it. I mean, it's shocking that you have places that are suffering from monsoon rain and also suffering of lack of water.
In the same
Something's
earth.
got
Yeah,
to give.
exactly.
Now, the idea is once water is monetized and becomes an established commodity like soybean, fuel oil, gold, diamonds, I guess, if you want to mention that, once that becomes a proper commodity, you will find from second world and third world countries the same protection they give to gold mines, diamond and gas fields. They will give the same security to pristine rivers and springs and water reserves. They will have the same security because that's their money now.
Water.
Elon Musk, Elon's father, is trying. I don't know why he's active, but he's looking to establish some kind of project on monetizing or tokenizing water. His words, not mine. He says, why allow the rain to come from the mountain, trickle down, and get lost in the sea?
Yeah.
Collect it at the bottom, treat it, sell it, it's your money.
Yeah, but how do you sell a commodity that people assume is for free?
Talk to all the water companies. How are they making money?
Slander. Slander.
Sorry, Elon Musk. He changed his name to not Elon Musk.
Yeah, as soon as he mentioned Elon Musk, I was like, "Oh no, he's in the mud again."
So I have a
Just quickly on the subject of crypto, one of the biggest crypto companies in the world that is actually at the forefront of tokenization, RWAs, is called Ripple, and it's a reference to water.
So I have a question about water very quick. So there's shortage of clean water, not water as a whole. So for example, in Israel, right, there's a shortage of water, but they have desalination technology that can take ocean water or salt water and clean it and make it drinkable. So the technology is there and it's going to become cheaper and cheaper as we go along. So if that's the case, the water will not be as big, like clean water will not be as big of an issue as it is right now. If technology is available.
That's not what these people do, my friend. What they do is they buy that technology, they steal the patent, they bury it underground, then charge you double the price of water. That's just how they work. You know, if there was a technology like that out there, like they did with the example for the electric vehicle we talked about in one of the previous ones, they suppress it and then push the narrative that you need to pay more for the actual rational supply. John mentioned it on one of the previous shows about oil. You know, oil is an abundance on Earth, but if you can control the perception that it's a rare fossil fuel, there's a premium for it at that point.
Yeah.
So there's no
it's
way.
not as the days where water was like surface deep. Oh, sorry, oil was surface deep are long gone. Like my brother works he's head of BP Asia, so like he. You know, I spoke to him about this. I was like, was it true? He's like, it certainly wasn't true when I joined BP. Like they spend trillions or multiple billions of dollars looking to get oil out of the ground in the deep sea, right? Because if it was the idea that it would be, you know, a conspiracy, it's still plenty of oil at surface level and they just go to the sea just to keep the pretense up. It's too big of an industry for too many people to not know that's the case. So it might have been the case back in the early 1900s when Bush granddaddy, when he had Standard Oil, when he was doing it. These days, it's a lot. It's in difficult places to get to. Essentially, the other thing is gas is everywhere. There's gas pockets everywhere. Like if you were to legalize, what's it called? Fracking. If you were to legalize fracking in every country that has energy shortages. We all have an abundance of energy, and they say that they don't do it because it's dangerous for the environment. I'm sure it does have a negative impact, but like the UK could solve its energy crisis in about 6 months if they were just to move into the fracking world.
We did it in the US. It was legalized.
Yeah,
well,
they do frack in the US. Yeah. What's that? Sorry, John?
James Bond film, Quantum of Solace. Yeah. Where they're at that opera and Bond is listening into them, having their conversations, and they're saying about buying up all this pipeline and they say they want to control the world water supplies.
Yeah.
And when they meet the general of the army in, I think it's in Haiti, he said to him, "I want this land," and he shows him a map. And he said, "You won't find oil there. We've already looked." And he said, "Maybe it's not the oil that we're laying pipelines for." And it showed how they'd blasted a natural reservoir, so they're stopping the people of that region getting the water for free, and they want to control all the utilities. So they show all this stuff in films, as we spoke about before.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. I definitely think that they deliberately that they will dirty the water in order to clean it. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like I said,
Yes, I agree.
there is technologies out there to turn salt water into drinking water, but they're not going to make it readily available for everybody to use. They're not going to solve anyone's problems. They're not out here to help people. What they'll do is they'll control it, charge a premium for it, and make people pay high prices for that service. That's just how the people who control the world work.
Yeah, well, what they do is they make you believe there's a problem to create a solution.
Yeah,
the real conspiracy.
It's called the Hegelian dialectic, isn't it? There was a Hungarian philosopher called Hegel, and he said, create the problem, manipulate the reaction to the problem, offer the solution.
Yeah. So
which is how
I wish the world worked like the way that Eugene thinks it does, but unfortunately, the people that run it don't.
I'm just saying
that's a little pat on the head. Oh, poor Eugene. If only it was all rainbows and fairy tales.
If they use this technology, the thing is like all this technology they've got, if they used it to the benefit of mankind, that the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, that's not how it works.
I'm in agreement. I'm in complete agreement. I'm not saying it is going to be used for altruistic purposes. I'm just saying it's available. So governments who, I guess it depends on the countries. Some countries are not going to stand for their governments commoditizing water or whatever. So
the problem is a lot of the water companies have been sold off to foreign companies as well. So like the UK water companies are not actually owned by the UK government. They're owned by European companies.
Right. I think Veola owns a lot of the water companies over here, doesn't it? It's a French company.
French company, exactly. The French company owns the majority ones in the southeast of England. So like there's a conflict of interest between what the governments would want and what the profiteering owners of the actual water want. So they've fragmented it in such a way where they just can't take it back, you know?
Yeah, you guys are done. In Europe, it's over. At least in the States here, people have guns. So at least I have some faith. If anything goes down with the government.
You have a gun.
Me personally, no, but people do. So
if something was to go down and they come to you with a gun and they go, "Give me your gun."
My neighbor has like 15 guns, so I'm just gonna borrow it.
But okay, cool.
Mate, the only use having a gun in this situation, mate, is you'll be able to commit suicide quicker.
Yeah.
We got rid of you guys, so
Mate, come on, we gave you a language.
You get rid of the reptilians, though.
Well, that's true. When the aliens come, it doesn't matter. That's true. The guns are not going to help.
Not going to help, mate. They've gradually taken away all the powerful guns. So the automatic guns are taken away. You'll be stuck there with revolvers and hand pistols, mate, against tanks.
No, people here are really specific about having like ARs. Like the militia here is in the woods. It's pretty.
Mate, this is what all the false facts are about the school shootings in America. Like for the last 20 years, they've been pushing a narrative about all these automatic rifles, and this is what the agenda actually is long term: is to take away the automatic weapons from the Americans, even though it's in your Bill of Rights or Constitution. Yeah, exactly. So it's to take away that automatic weapon and leave you with 6 shots in a revolver against a guy who's got laser guns. You're not going to stand the chance, mate. So it might seem like you're empowered right now, but I promise you, when it comes to the crunch, you're gradually going to be disarmed.
Come on, Nikos, you're such a downer.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm English. They gave our guns away. What was the event in the UK, Lorraine and John? Was it Dunblane?
Yeah,
it was Dunblane, wasn't it? Yeah, there was a school shooting in Dunblane. They took all the guns away like a year later or whatever. You caught the gun now, you're prison. So
one of the girls who died in Dunblane's brother was at my school. It was horrendous.
The school shooting stuff, that's a whole separate thing. It's not even about guns. It's about mental issues and about the drugs that all those kids are on.
Oh, when are we going to do a show on pharmaceutical control? When are we going to talk
about
Officer Rise?
Oh yeah.
Definitely do that. That's probably a decent. That's a decent hour-long conversation though. So we'll save that for Friday.
I'm going to have to go. Sorry, my battery's running out. I'm going to have to go.
Appreciate you so much, Lorraine. Come anytime you like.
Lorraine. It was a real
See
pleasure.
you later. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go in a bit too, but before, I don't know if in the comments if you saw, the biggest conspiracy I want to know is if Perchi does in fact watch Portuguese Division 2 football. That's what I want to find out. That's the conspiracy that's been bothering me for a long time.
Perchi's been pretending for a long time that he watches Hungarian League 3. In reality, he just drops onto Football Manager for 5 minutes and goes and has a look through the.
Yeah. What does he say?
Now we know the truth.
Yeah, Susie, can you actually? Can we spend 5 minutes outing the biggest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, she's a fraud.
You live in Perchi, right? You live in Perchi, don't you?
Majority of the time.
Yeah. But do you ever have to take the remote control off of Perchi and say enough of Portuguese second division football, Perchi? I just can't stand it anymore. Does that ever happen? No, I didn't think so.
Yes, I knew it.
He's completely outed. He's completely outed.
She's a fraud. I knew it. Okay, back to aliens. Thanks, Susie. My job is done. My job is done. Perchi, you're finished. You are finished, my friend. Sorry for derailing. Back to real issues.
Perchi, you are outed, my man. You are a phony. You're a fraud. You're a fraud about reptilian.
Fraud.
Fantastic.
All right,
Fantastic.
sorry, I got to run as well.
We're only go for a few minutes more, guys. See, how much time have you guys all got? I mean, I can keep going if you want. I'm energized tonight.
I'm gonna go soon, but I mean, yeah, you can carry on for however long you want.
Yeah.
How many views? How many views?
Eugene, you're going, are you now?
Yeah, because I'm in the car, so
All right,
people are giving me weird looks. I'm in the car talking to myself, so I better go. But
I'm gonna ask if that's glass on the roof or is it AI?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat says, is Eugene's roof glass or is it AI?
Hey, it's Tesla, my friend. Elon's creation. So you can look at the sky and look at the planets rotating. Look at the constellations moving in real time.
When Elon comes out to what he actually is, you can all blame Eugene.
They're under Eugene's settings, Nikos. He's put Musk has done that car under Eugene's settings.
Hey,
yeah,
chip me up.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Chip me up. I'm ready for a Neuralink. And then, I'm ready.
You know what? I said that to my brother, right? I go, listen, he's obviously done, like I said before, he's done really well for himself. And he goes, Sean, I know you think that like when you get to a certain level of like, you get up to a certain level in a company or wealth or whatever, you get a tap on the shoulder. I was like, yeah, have you ever had a tap on the shoulder, Danny? He's like, no, but fucking tap my shoulder, bro. I want in. I want in. He goes, if there are ways for me to get to the top, like to the right, to the top, and all I got to do is like, I don't know, like be part of some ritual, fucking tap me on the shoulder. I haven't been tapped on the shoulder ever. Completely different to me. He's all about his god is money, and that's fine.
Tell him to set up a Twitter account and start telling people how much money he's got, and he'll get a tap really quick.
Oh, Nico,
it's about reach. It's about who you can then influence. They don't want a guy that's self-made and sit on his own and doesn't talk to nobody. They want somebody that can pass on and keep building and growing. That's the trick to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got those sorts.
Hey, Nikos, before I go, just last question: if this show becomes huge, as it will, and then somebody from WF approaches you and says, "Hey, come and join us. You can do like all the rituals. You can do all that stuff. You're gonna make billions." Are you gonna say yes or no?
Mate, you've met me over a few shows. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think my answer will be, and you'll be right.
Your answer will be no, but in reality, in real life, like I'll be there in a second. I'm gonna actually seek them out. You know how much fun it would be to be in a cult and do like all these rituals. So that's why I'm like.
You're basically a prostitute that hasn't had any phone calls yet. Is what you're saying?
It's about being a part of something bigger. It's about feeling the power.
I told you before, mate. I've had money and I've had no money, and it's easier having no money. But
But it's not about the money.
I wouldn't compromise now as an adult, as a dad. I wouldn't compromise my morals and my beliefs for any amount of money in the world. I'd rather be poor and die poor than die rich and compromise.
But it's not about the money. It's about the knowledge. It's about like knowing how things work. It's about being in those circles where people actually influence.
So you infiltrate from
everything.
the inside.
Give me a tap on the shoulder and we'll talk about it. Give me a tap on the shoulder and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so
listen, Eugene, you're talking to a man here who's figured out that when you die, allegedly, when you see the white light, and everyone that you've been indoctrinated to follow the white light to heaven. Nikos is so down the rabbit hole that he believes that the white light is a temptation to get the soul recycled, and you go round again. So he's going to turn away from the white light, which I think is a.
There's no money. There's no money you convince me.
That is a lot of money.
This ain't about money anymore. It used to be when I was a young man, money was the most important thing in the world to me. When I was a young man, money was the thing. But as you get older, you have to sort of have convictions behind your beliefs. And if you can be bought and sold, like you're not anything, are you?
I was testing you.
Eric Dubé's got you wrapped around his little finger, though, Nikos.
Mate, again, I was skeptical as well. When I first watched Eric Dubé, I thought the same thing probably you guys. I was like, you fucking monkey, what you on about? You know, like, but gradually, after years of soul searching and thinking for myself and being critical, like gradually you get to a point where all these coincidences actually become unexplainable. And yeah, like I said, mate, it's a journey. It's a fun journey. It's a lonely one, but it's a fun one.
It's going to be a battle on the show. Nikos will try to turn me into a flat earther, and I'll try to make him join WEF.
To be honest, Eugene, I'm entirely honest. I'm not sure if Susie's going to want to come back, right? I hope she does. I hope she does, but I think she might have been a little bit put off with the first hour of the show. We steered it closer towards reality in the second hour, but the first hour we were down some deep recesses of the rabbit hole. If Susie does come back and becomes, I'd love you to, Susie. If you do, and if you become a regular member of the Skeptics on this channel, I think, Nikos, turning Susie into a believer in your beliefs is going to be more difficult than Eugene. So you've got some work to do, mate.
Challenge accepted.
Because I was just going to challenge you on this whole white light thing. So I'll tell you a story. And I mean, I think my thing is with this whole white light is I think there's something in the human brain that delivers this. So when I think I must have been about 13 or 14. I was in a car accident. And when I was in the hospital, because I'd hit my head on the windscreen, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And my whole story was when I was laying on the hospital bed, like I was sort of, you're in and out of sort of reality and it's all really confusing, but everything was incredibly like bright and light and like, not that I was dying, I wasn't that critical, but I mean, I think something happens in the brain that makes it look like there's some sort of a white light, but I don't necessarily think it's something that you walk towards when you're dying. But obviously when you do die and you don't walk towards it, come back and tell us, but I don't believe that that's kind of what happens.
The reason why I come to this conclusion was for many different reasons, but just so you can kind of understand where I come from. My wife, she was actually in a very fatal car accident in Venezuela when she was young, and the driver of the car died, and she's got scars all over her body from the accident. But she explained to me a story about how she was about to die in the wreckage, and she was pulled out, and she explained to me the light and the family that brought her back, and she explained to me her side of what she saw when she was literally like, I think she was pronounced dead for like 14 minutes. So like when she explained to me what it was, it made sense for the whole reincarnation program. But she explained to me that she saw her family members she hadn't met, and they pulled her to the light. So I think it depends on what stage of the kind of like your body shuts down. But I think when you get to that final stage of your body is now done, I think you get to a point of this way or that way. I don't think it's a case of just like you're heading to the light. That's it.
Have you heard about the last 7 minutes? So they talk about the last 7 minutes of your life is you will always recount the happiest memories and the people that were the most impactful to you. And they always talk about if someone was that important, you want to be part of like their 7 minutes. And that's why I think when, it is our time to go, I think there's this whole connection of emotional, spiritual, psychological, all happening at once. And it creates these images and versions
happens
that
though if
people
you're,
have. I don't think there's sort of, and I think that's the whole belief in,
I mean,
you
I
know, a
was
bigger power.
I was
and
a
stuff.
skeptic. I was a skeptic as well, but there's actually a university here in the States that scientifically studies the reincarnation, and they have like thousands and thousands of cases about like scientific, actual, not proof, but scientific data that supports that concept. And if you also believe that consciousness is not generated in the brain, but where radios tuned into kind of a universal consciousness, then, you know, there is some merit to that. As far as like what we see when we die, that's something different. But as far as the reincarnation and what happens later, there's actual a lot of scientific evidence for that. So that actually turned me into a believer.
Yeah, none of us will know the answers to this question, unfortunately. This is one of those ones that you've got to make impulsively at that moment in time, but just to premeditate it. Like, I think if you're given a choice and there's a hand there and you have the option to not take that extended hand in the light, like, I think that's the choice that I'm going to make. And it's not something I take lightly. It's not something I've just decided, oh, I don't know what, fuck it, I'm going to go the other way. You know, it's not something I thought of like very lightly, but I do think, you know, I've watched lots and lots of information about people that have experienced these near-death experiences. Like someone mentioned there a minute ago, there's lots of people on YouTube that have shared their near-death experiences and what they experience when they come to the light. Like, again, like I said, from a financial analyst point of view, like you compile lots of information and you spit out a conclusion. And it's the same kind of process that my brain works. When I think, do you know what, this makes more sense to do this than it would to do this. So
what's your view if you
I'll
walk
try and
the
come back and let you know, or not.
Well, what's your view if you walk away from the light? What happens then?
I think that you free yourself in your sovereignty from the recycling program of reincarnation. I think we're in a soul trap, and if you go to the light, you go back round again, and this is why you get reincarnated as somebody else. Your memory is wiped, and you get another go to learn lessons. This is why lots of people can recall past lives. But if you turn your back on the light, I think that you kind of free yourself and you take your sovereignty back, and your soul is released back into the universe or wherever it comes from.
Yeah,
I don't know where I come
from. I kind of feel a bit differently. I feel like I'm not sold on this, but there's one sort of theory for me is that you're not actually the thought, right? Like the world has just got a million frequencies, an infinite amount of frequencies going on, and that essentially you're not really thinking it. You're just experiencing the thought, like a radio station that's always playing that you're not necessarily dialed into, and then when you dial the number, dial the thing, you pick up a new frequency, a new wavelength or whatever. So like if that's the case, and I don't know if it is, but if that is the case, you know, then it's not your decision, is it? It's not your decision to follow the light or not. It's
there's no right or wrong answer until you get there, is there? There's no right or wrong answer until you get there.
No, yeah, I think that we're all dialed into frequencies, and that's why, you know, sometimes if you have you seen that video of that woman who she was like 40 years old from Essex, and you know, she talked like this, whatever, and then she had a stroke, and when she woke up from her stroke, she had a Chinese accent. You've seen it. It's fucking. It's hilarious. She goes, "Oh, I come from Essex." It's absolutely brilliant. I think your brain is just like you're dialed into a frequency, and maybe the frequency gets knocked a little bit, and you're off on some other path. You know,
your soul and your vessel are two separate things, I think. And I think at that point you get an option, or you get the opportunity to free yourself from the vessel, I think. So yeah, mate, if you ever find that video again, like from the Essex girl who speaks Chinese, mate, send that to us on the WhatsApp group.
I'll find it. John, what's your thoughts on the afterlife, my man?
There's a few comments in the chat saying about I've frozen and things like that. I can't get a fucking word in edgeways. That's why.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, John.
Jump in.
He didn't tell you to jump in.
No. It's funny. I'm not impolite. I don't want to break into when people are speaking, and I think it's really interesting hearing everyone what they've got to say. So it might be bollocks what I've got to say, and what you're saying is more relevant. What do I think about it? I don't know. I've heard people say all different things about their bloody Cleopatra, their, you know, Queen Mary and all this and that. No one's ever a fucking peasant, are they, who like lives in a mud hut? They're always interesting stories. Are they tapping into the spirit world? Like when people go past the castle and they say like, "Oh, I used to live there" and all that. Are they tapping into one of the past spirits that lived there? And are they? Fuck no. Who knows? Who knows? Like Nikos said, how can you know for sure? Mediums will tell you all different things. They'll say one thing and then you'll speak to another medium, they'll tell you another. How can you know?
Well, if this is real, this particular, I found the video. If this is real, then I think it supports the notion that you're dialed in on a wavelength, and if something happens to your brain, you can wake up and you can be. I don't know if she's putting this on, but listen, it got to BBC. Not that they're the bastion of truth, of course, but listen to this. Fucking hilarious.
Sarah has spent most of her life in Plymouth and had the accent to match until recently.
So fish and chips. Chips. I said that right?
Yeah. 3.5 years ago, she was rushed into hospital with a migraine, which left her with a voice she didn't recognise.
I have not actually heard my voice in the conversation for nearly 3 years.
Her initial response upon hearing how she knew the sound from a bank telephone recording
Good afternoon, thank you.
was to long for her old accent to return.
Yeah, I'm not actually ringing about my policy though. I'm ringing for a quote. Do you still want my policy number?
I know it's me, but I feel like I want to say, oh, she make a good speak. She speak a good, but like that, not me no more.
There's one picture you can see all the facts.
Sarah has been diagnosed with foreign accent syndrome. The condition is only 150 known cases worldwide.
Although it's called foreign accent syndrome, it's literally a speech impediment. There's nothing foreign about it. Obviously I don't have a Chinese accent. I've never been to China. You'd have to spend a considerable amount of time in China to pick up the accent. So it's impossible.
Deep mud, tough nut, night bus.
Although she doesn't know why this has happened, months of speech therapy with specialist Martin Duckworth at Marjohn's in Plymouth have provided some insights.
I actually feel quite comfortable with my speech now.
We can't give you any definitive answers about exactly what's happening, which is why we're following Sarah's journey. But some small changes happened within her brain, and they've had an impact on the way she organises her speech output.
I'm done. I'm finished.
Despite finding no answers or cure, Sarah has learned how to live with her new voice.
It took a long time to actually accept that I was the problem for me. I was the one making me feel bad.
I've seen other clips of this one, right? I've seen other clips where the guy goes, say the word hard. And she goes, harder.
As I was watching it there, the first thing I thought of was, have they tried to put a Chinese person in front of her and speak Chinese to her? The first thing I thought of was like, put a Chinese man who doesn't speak English in front of her, start talking Chinese and see if she can understand or respond. And if she can't, it's probably a scam. This disability scam or something like that, you know?
But she didn't say she could speak Chinese, though, did she? It was just
she can't speak Chinese. She's never been there.
She speaks Chinese too.
It's the way she. It's the name of the syndrome as well. They have like everything else in medical. Oh, she's got a case of like perplexiitis or whatever. No, this is foreign accent syndrome.
Foreign accent syndrome. Like, it felt very scammy. I must say, it felt very scammy. It felt very scammy. It's some sort of type of benefit scam, I think.
Oh, come on. We all called in work and said, I can't come in today. I've got foreign accent syndrome.
I can't come to work today.
Honestly, it blows my mind that you find stuff like that so far-fetched, but then you're okay with some of the stuff you do believe in.
No,
yes. I draw the line at foreign accent syndrome.
Foreign accent syndrome, scammers is the line, mate. Scammers are the line. Like, I'm not saying the Bible's a scam or the flat Earth's a scam. I'm saying people that are taking money from the UK government speaking Chinese is a scam. I'm on it.
I want to take her on a date and see if she says, I love you long time.
Oh, I love you long time. Yeah. I would have put a Chinese man in there. If I was a doctor, or if there was actually a doctor who actually cared to figure out what was going on, they'd put a Chinese person in a room with her for an hour and then just like leave them and see what happened.
Rodrigo Bentancur saw that and he thought it was Sonny.
Get in trouble. We're close to getting cancelled. Listen,
Good.
guys, that's probably the perfect time. I think we should probably wrap it up there. We'll start and we'll come back on Friday night and we'll do some other topics, other deep dives. Has everyone had a good evening tonight, Susie? Will you come back, Susie?
I will, not on Friday though. We're out, but yeah, maybe next week.
Okay.
Mate, if there's any questions, Susie, that you have for me next time, write them down, get them ready, get them loaded. I'll be completely unprepared and you try and catch me off guard about anything.
Are you on the group chat?
Yeah.
I'm leaving in a minute.
I'm leaving the group chat. No, you're not going anywhere. You're the captain of the group chat. John, you've had a good night, mate. I'm sorry, buddy. If you feel like you haven't spoken too much again, man, you got a chart. You got to jump in.
No,
be more aggressive for the chat.
Because they were saying, "Am I an AI bot? Have I been deactivated?"
Mate, you got to be more ruthless when you're talking, mate. You got to get in because you got the knowledge. You got the majority of the knowledge in this group. You
can't just be in the private chat. You just need to get involved.
I'm very inspired by you, actually. Every time you talk, I get closer to the TV or to the, you need to just get in there ruthlessly and just tell your story.
How good was Lorraine though tonight on a first time?
She's great as well.
Absolutely amazing. I loved everything she said. Everything she said, I agreed with. Nearly everything she said was like me coming from a woman. It's like looking into a female mirror.
Maybe you two are related, like distant cousins or something.
Honestly, I read when you get down this sort of certain path of truth, you resonate with souls that are kind of on the same journey, and I just felt everything that she said. Just everything she said, nearly everything she said, I agreed with as well. Things she said, I was gonna say. Oh my god, man!
I do think I've figured out a way to keep myself.
I haven't seen that film. Is it any good?
iRobot. You haven't seen iRobot with Will Smith?
Yeah,
it's actually pretty average. Guys, listen, there's only one thing I need you to do, okay? Susie, you've got some homework. You've got to go and look at Black Mirror, and for you, Nikos, and for Susie, and for Lorraine. You've also got to go and look at Eric Dubé's 150 million reasons why the Earth is flat.
200 million, 200, not 500 million. 200, just 200.
200 reasons why the Earth is flat. It is actually a good watch. I watched it before. It did get me thinking. Although he doesn't answer some of the obvious pushbacks. But guys, we're going to say massive thank you. Just quickly, Matt Cox has given me a great idea. When Johnny and I eventually get cancelled on Football Inc. for doing Chinese accents, I can now claim I will rebut it at YouTube. Say I wasn't being taking the piss. I've just got foreign accent syndrome.
He'll get cancelled for the German one first. He'll get cancelled for the German accent he does first.
Yeah, exactly. And the Welsh one. I do all the accents.
Yeah. It reminds me of my dad, actually, Johnny. He does all that kind of like old school racism.
Yeah. Where are your papers? Anyway, guys, listen, we're gonna leave it there. Massive thank you to everyone. Please smash the like, smash the subscribe. I love this channel. It's my favourite channel by far.
How many did we have watching tonight, Sean?
I think we got 156 at peak.
Wow.
So new record for the show. Unbelievable stuff. Please do smash the like and subscribe, and we will.
That's probably down to Lorraine and I, isn't it? Because we're the only new ones.
Yes, we've got some eye candy on the channel.
Yeah.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
Or logic.
Maybe.
Eugene said you were the eye candy earlier, Nikos, in the group.
No, I said I was the eye candy earlier, to be honest. You disagreed.
No anymore. Now we got
You're
actual eye
the
candy.
I'm the eye candy. Sean's the host, and well, Susie's it.
Oh, thanks, nothing.
Appreciate you all. Love you all. See you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.